This that Snoop Dogg California two-step right there. You gotta prop the shoulders up like this. You gotta make sure the arms and the shoulders got the same jump. You feel me? You gotta be square. Then you can lean back with it like this. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Then we hit them with a dip. Hey. How's everybody doing? Happy Moon Day. Happy Moon Day. Full moon vibes in the air. Full moons vibe in the air. Get all that stress about the air. Go ahead and take care of your hair. Go ahead and jump into self-care. Cause you know that's what's good for ya. I wanna lie to ya. Baby, what you doing? Yo, what's going on IG? What's going on YouTube? What's going on La Familia? Alright, YouTube, IG, what's poppin', man? Listen, I'm pretty frustrated right now. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm pretty frustrated right now, but look, the full moon in Sagittarius, if you can't access some optimism in your life, then you must be, you disconnected from source. You disconnected from this solar system. You in another galaxy, you in another world. Alright? My motherfucking cable company think it's a game. I'm finna get some of the homies from the hood, strap up some gats, and we finna head to Optimum Cable tomorrow morning. Cause them niggas been playing with my internet all day. This weekend I struggled to do readings because my internet was, I basically, thank God for my hotspot. Thank the Lord for my hotspot because I want to be able to get shit done. Alright? So I'm running up, if you see Boro in the newspaper this week, y'all gonna be like, God damn, how Boro telling us to chill during the full moon? This nigga, and he walked up in the cable company with gats. Motherfuckers got me fucked up. And it'll be the stupidest shit too. You know, the internet be working as soon as I gotta do a reading. As soon as I gotta go live, my internet was good until I had to jump on live. As soon as I was about to jump on, I wanted to jump at live at 8:30. At 8:30. So yeah, somebody gonna have hell to pay at Optimum tomorrow. One of they workers, this full moon is ending cycles. Saturn retrograde is ending a lot of cycles. So somebody finna quit their job tomorrow because of me. Niggas walking in here with guns and shit over internet service. I can't do this no more. Optimum, y'all not paying me enough. Y'all not paying me enough. But I'm gonna connect to some positive energy because I want to hover over these alignments for you guys. Like I said, I wanted to go live earlier, but man, listen, I'm an air sign. It's just Gemini season. Air signs, time management for us is very hard to deal with right now. You know, I got the sun trans in my 5th house, full moon trans in my 11th house. So I got so much different things going on with different people right now. All right. Overall, I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are aligning with these vibes. Once again, full moon energies. We know full moon times energy is intense. Emotion is high. Let me just say for a disclaimer, I am using my hotspot to stream on YouTube. Okay, so I apologize if this comes out choppy. I'll just try to get my IG, my Instagram live stream upload it up to YouTube, depending on how the quality is. All right, guys, but I really won't take that much time. I didn't even write down any notes, so I'm not finna we just finna flow right now. I just want to break down the major influences and bring more clarity to how this energy is affecting you guys. I'm gonna go over sun and rising signs. Okay, so if you don't know your rising sign, the full moon's in Sagittarius. You need to learn how to invest into your spiritual path. All right, you need to learn how to invest into spiritual development. So you go ahead and go online. You know, go to astrotheme.com. You know, Google natal chart generator. Get that birth time. Go ahead and find out your rising sign so you can have more clarity in your houses. All right, y'all. It's very important to understand the houses in astrology. Okay, and any more disclaimers? If you ordered a reading, I said a reading. If you booked a reading within the last 48 hours, I will be answering all emails before the end of the day. Like I said, I had a very busy day, so I do have to get together my scheduling for the week to send out some delivery dates. For the people who had readings with me over the weekend, those readings will be sent out. All right, like I said, I'm not doing video calls right now. If you want to book a 2-hour reading, that's the only reading right now I'm still doing video calls for. Besides that, every other reading is going to be pre-recorded videos until probably sometime in the summertime, or maybe towards the end of the summer. I'm gonna lift that up. Shit, I might lift that shit up towards the end when Saturn go direct. All right, yeah. But I always take points of emphasis regardless. Okay, so that's that. It's breaking up bad. See. I'm just gonna stay on YouTube just cause. Okay, I don't see nobody saying nothing on IG. All right, look like we good on Instagram. So guys on YouTube, if it's really that bad, you guys may want to jump onto Instagram. All right, but let me not take too much time because I know the quality is already going to be type crazy. So all right, guys, let's get to the meats and potatoes of everything. It's a full moon in Sagittarius. We know full moon times. What is full moon times for? They fully illuminate the subconscious. Okay, so throughout our day, we're really activated with our conscious energy, right? What we're consciously aware of, and it takes certain periods for us to have to, reflect upon the subconscious. IG working better than YouTube. All right, y'all. Hey YouTube. Everybody's. See, I think I'm gonna just end the YouTube stream. I'm ending the YouTube stream. I don't like that. I'm sorry, guys. Hop on IG. Fuck this. I don't like that. All right, guys. So listen. It's a full moon in Sag, all right? And we know when we're dealing with full moon times, we're dealing with detachment, releasing. The moon rules the solar system's vibration, all right? The vibration of the world. This is why following the moon is so important, regardless of what your sign is. If you know the moon is in Sagittarius, then you know the house that you have Sagittarius in is the emphasis for those next 2.5 days. If we have the moon transiting Scorpio, you need to know what house Scorpio is in, so you know what area of your life is emphasized around that time. Okay, and okay, I see you guys saying it's not that choppy on IG, probably because I got off the hotspot on my laptop or whatnot. So I think I had too many things on the hotspot, because I had to get my laptop on, then I got my second phone that I'm on IG on right now on the internet. But enough about that. I'm running up in Optimal on some gangster shit tomorrow. But anyways, the importance of a full moon is for us to finally reflect upon what's been on the subconscious. We go through life burying so much things when it comes to traumas, wounds, things that any type of forms of stress. When it comes to our mental health, a lot of these things go unnoticed because they're usually blocked by what we're consciously paying attention to. So when the moon is full, the house that you have the full moon transiting, this house is fully illuminated. So you need to look at this as, this is the area universe wants me to find things to clear up right now. All right. Now, when you look at your chart, it's not just your full moon house that's activated, it's the axis on that house. All right, so we got the sun in Gemini, the full moon in Sagittarius. We know full moons are always opposite to the sun, aka opposites in astrology. We got to make sure we get these energies to get on the same page. They're going to attract each other. We need to make sure when these energies attract, when opposites attract, they can learn from each other. All right, instead of it being a clash, we want to make sure these energies have the ability to complement each other. Once again, quick disclaimer, because I see people getting in the room. If you booked a reading in the last 48 hours, I will be sending out delivery dates and emails tonight. All right, if we had a reading in the past 3 days, because I didn't get to send out any of the readings, this was the last week I was doing video calls. So if you connected with me over the weekend, I believe it was about 3-4 of you guys, because I didn't get the chance to hit emails today. Those will be sent out before the end of the day. All right. Now, when we're looking at the Sagittarius and Gemini axis in our chart, this is where we need to be looking at right now. These are the activated houses right now. So the sun has been transiting our house with Gemini, and it brings light. The sun brings light. So when it comes to our Gemini house, now I'm not on live on YouTube, just Instagram right now. The house that we have Gemini in, we've been seeing all type of new shit in this house right now. We've been seeing, now for everybody, because Gemini deals with relationships, we've all been becoming more aware as to how relationships are being developed in our life. how other people influence us, our influence on others, how much people depend on us, you know, how people enable us, who we're compatible with when it comes to how we think about things, who we can brainstorm with. This is why a lot of y'all during this season, y'all started realizing you can't share ideas with all of your friends. Y'all started realizing you can't talk about astrology with all of your friends. Some of y'all started developing more you know, relationships on social media during this time, Gemini season, with people who relate to the things you relate to. So whenever we have the sun or strong air energies, this is always going to give us more of an awareness on relationships in our life and help us bring us closer to our soul tribe, to people, our soulmates, people we do connect with. All right. So, yup, full moon in Sag. So now that the full moon is in Sagittarius, this is halftime. This is the reset period. We get to look at everything we accumulated during our travels with the sun in Gemini, and we get to see how it affects the opposite house, Sagittarius, our Sagittarius house. But it helps us to understand what may have been buried in our Sagittarius house, so we have more clarity on how to conduct ourselves from this time going on, leading into Cancer season. All right. So this is how we want to look at full moon times. This is not a time to set intentions. This is not a time to set intentions. You're going to fuck the energies up. Because what you're doing spiritually is you're trying to add things onto your plate when this is a time universe is like, this ain't what you trying to add all that extra shit in. We just had a new moon in Gemini. The sun just entered Gemini. That's when you were supposed to be setting new intentions. This is the period for you to start looking at the things that you set intentions on. Like, okay, all right, that worked. This didn't work. I learned this. Okay. Blase blah. This is what we're looking at right now. Okay. So the strong themes that deal with that Sagittarius and Gemini axis, because you have to understand opposite signs are always having things in common because they're on the same axis. All opposite signs are connected. Aries, you are connected to Libra. Taurus, you are connected to Scorpio. Gemini, you are connected to Sagittarius. Cancer, you're connected to Capricorn. Leo, you're connected to Aquarius. You guys share the same traits. And a lot of the times these traits come out when you feel like your back is against the wall. So, for example, Aries and Libra. Libra is the communicator, the relationship sign. Aries is the individual. But when the Aries feel like they don't have no other option in their life to make something work, when they feel like their back is against the wall, when they feel like the things that they're setting individual intention on ain't going their way, watch your Aries get hella relatable. Watch your Aries siblings start calling you, communicating to you more. Watch your Aries parents start trying to talk to you some more. Watch your Aries child start trying to communicate with you more. Pick your ideas, pick your mind about shit. That's the energy Aries is gonna jump into. All right, can you do a birth chart for me? Of course, just DM me, or you could book through my site. All right, so that's how you know an Aries. They really feel like they ain't got no option right now. When they really trying to pick people's mind, when they're initiating the communication with others, when your Aries coworker coming to work, just starting a conversation with everybody, mad, talkative, relatable, you like, damn, there's something going on in your life. Something going on in your life right now. Libra is the communication relatable sign. So when you see a Libra on some real isolated shit, when you see Libra on some real individual shit, not communicating their ideas or things they want to do to their friends, to their partner, something's going on with the Libra. They may feel like their relationships are not dependable. They may feel like they have exerted too much of their energy into certain relationships and motherfuckers don't reciprocate that. All right? So you have to understand how you jump into your opposite signs. You got to think about it, guys. If somebody's in a position in life where they feel like what they're doing is not working, then a lot of times that's going to force us to go against our character. You know, if you're getting bullied or somebody's trying to take advantage of you, when you notice it, you might get out of character. You might jump into some opposite energies. You know, at first you was being harmonious. At first you was trying to resonate with somebody's energy. And once you feel that friction, now it's like, all right, now I got to get on my bullshit. So this is what we do as zodiac signs as well. All right. Now, it's important to understand when we look at that Gemini-Sagittarius axis, what do they both have in common? They both have strong emphasis on travel, moving around. More so Gemini dealing with local travel, Sagittarius dealing with long distance travel. They both have huge emphasis on education. Gemini, more so your adolescent stages, what you learned through interactions with your siblings and relatives and people in your neighborhood in a young age, elementary school, junior high, even high school to an extent. When we get into the ninth, when we talk about Sagittarius, now we're dealing with college. Now we're dealing with advanced degrees. Now we're dealing with you developing other philosophies in your life. Now we're dealing with belief system. Now we're dealing with spirituality. All right. So Belief systems, knowledge, education, travel, interaction. Sagittarius is a very social sign. We know the air signs are very social signs because they are the relationship signs. But the signs that are opposite to the air signs are very they can be very social too. All right, more so Sagittarius, that's opposite to Gemini, and more so Leo, that's opposite from Aquarius. Aries, they got the strong I am presence. So sometimes you may not. Aries gonna be extra relatable when it comes to their inner circle. But when it comes to getting out and building new relationships with other people, that's that Mars energy. So it's like the Aries got to read you and shit, got to know who you is, where you come from, what you about, before they even start letting you come any closer, you know, in any type of shape or form. All right, guys? So these are the things that have a strong emphasis around this time. You know, the things that we want to learn about, the things we've been experiencing, things about our spiritual development, our surroundings. That's been the emphasis of the whole Gemini season. So there may have been new revelations that you guys have developed during Gemini season when it comes to your roommates, when it comes to your living situation, when it comes to people in your environment, your motherfucking neighbors. You may have to tell your neighbors about yourself. Like, listen, I be working all day. When I come home, I don't want to motherfucking hear you and your husband and wife arguing all night. Y'all motherfuckers can't find a way to have a car. Y'all been married 8 years. Y'all don't have a way to communicate without the whole hood hearing y'all. And I live in the Bronx too. I'm looking for a new place right now. I'm looking to move into a new spot right now. So you feel me? My broker and my real estate agent, I got ties within the family. I told him straight up, I said, yo, listen, all the spots you finna take me, these next during the summertime, me looking at spots and whatnot, because I'm gonna make this move towards like the end of the summer, early fall. I'm like, listen, don't be putting me in the middle of no bullshit now. I love my Jamaicans, but I need some peaceful Jamaican neighbors. All right? Yo, Boro, what them say? You want to come over, drink up? You want Guinness? The baby making liquor jerk chicken out of the backyard. All right? I need a peaceful. I don't need crazy ass Jamaicans slamming dominoes 2 a.m. at night and shit. Nah. I need more of a peaceful environment. All right, shout out to Jamaica. I love you. I'm trying to go there for my birthday. So, our surroundings was a big influence around this time. Okay, y'all started realizing a lot of things about y'all close friends. You may have realized some things about the person you're dating now. You may have realized some things about a community you may be a part of that deals with different relationships. But when it comes to your close friends, the ones you text the most, the ones you talk to the most, the ones you probably depend on the most, the ones you talk to when you got issues going on in your life, your siblings, there's been new things we've been realizing about them. All right, there's been things they've been bringing to us. You may have got some new information from a sibling, a close friend or some shit, or neighbor. They may have brought some shit to you. You feel me? So these are all the things we've been experiencing during Gemini season. Now we got the full moon in Sag. So we got to take everything we learned during Gemini season and see how it affects our belief system. See how it affects, you know, our pursuit to expand beyond our local surrounding, aka travel, vacation, move, possibly. All right. And ultimately, everything we've been experiencing dealing with relationships is going to shape new morals and ethics around this time. Now, once again, it ain't a new moon in Sagittarius. So a new moon in Sagittarius definitely deals with new belief systems, evolved belief systems. But right now, we're developing an evolved belief system with the full moon in Sagittarius by how we look at things that don't fit, how we look at certain concepts we believed in that don't really resonate with us no more. All right? There may have been a lot of you guys are in relationships. We're going to get a little deep on this one. A lot of you guys are in relationships and you went into the relationship with these standards. You went into the relationship wanting to be treated like this. You went into the relationship talking about my next partner, this, that, and the third. They're going to have to put up with this, that, and the third. I ain't having that. And now you're realizing in order to make the relationship work, you got to compromise some of that shit. You got to learn to work around the love language of your partner, right? It's big relationship energy right now, okay? So this is what we want to keep in mind. Yeah, my nephew is Sag, and my neighbor been calling all day talking about relationships. Yup. You know how many synastry readings I did in Gemini season? I did more synastry readings than anything so far in Gemini season. You feel me? So That's a strong emphasis in our lives right now. And what else? All right, so let's talk about what the full moon is making contact with. Because remember, whatever the full moon is making contact with, aka what other planets is harmonizing with or having friction with, the planets it's harmonizing with are going to help us to understand what to detach from. And they're going to push us. They're going to add more energy into encouraging us what to detach from. The planets that the full moon is squaring or opposing, we know the full moon is naturally going to oppose the sun, right? So we got to find ways to get our actions and our emotions together. But then the full moon, if it's squaring or opposing other planets, these are going to be energies that are going to have strong influences dealing with detachment. So let's start with the square, because we only have one square. The full moon is squaring Neptune. What does Neptune represent in our birth charts with its frequency vibration in the solar system? Neptune is our gateway to connect to the astral realm. Neptune is our gateway to understand the subconscious and emotions of others. Neptune has strong themes of compassion. Neptune deals with our spiritual essence. All right. Neptune loves to learn. It's very wise. All right. You look at Neptune, look at it as your wise ass granny, your wise ass grandfather, your wise ass older uncle. All right. Jupiter's more so the uncle or auntie, you feel me? Granny, because Neptune older, all right? So that's your great-grandma, that's your grandmother, all right? When you go to their house, they don't know what the fuck going on in your life, but for some reason, when they just giving you game, you like, how the fuck grandma giving me? I ain't say nothing to grandma about my relationship issues or what's going on at work, but while she was baking the muffins and talking to me about life, everything she said resonated with what I need to be learning in my life or giving me more of a positive way of looking at situations in my life. That's Neptune for that ass. That's Neptune for that ass. All right? Neptune is very creative and artsy. Creative and artsy like a motherfucker. So if you have strong Neptune placements, Neptune conjunct your sun. Neptune conjunct your moon. Neptune on the ascendant. The sun or moon harmonizing with Neptune in some type of shape or form. Pisces placements. You're a Pisces sun moon rising. All right. You have strong Neptune energy. So your creative and spiritual essence is very strong. Your ability to connect to the astral realm, understand the astral realm, understand the relationship between the astral realm and the physical realm. This is going to be easier for you to understand. All right. You feeling the emotions of the world, the vibrations of the world, this is going to be something you're more sensitive to if you're a Pisces sun, moon, or rising, Neptune conjunct the sun, moon, or ascendant. All right. So if the full moon is squaring Neptune, this is showing us right now, guys. This is why right now we're realizing what people, places, and things and our internal energies, not just externally, not just the people we know and the situations going on in our life and our environments, not just these things, ourselves. We're realizing which one of these things hold back our dreams, our imagination, our spiritual development, our ability to use our creativity. We're realizing this. You're realizing if your social circle and your friends right now are the ones you subconsciously be neglecting your creative essence in a way. You're realizing if where you work at is condensing your creativity in some type of shape or form. You're realizing how your relationships or your family traditions are holding you back from expanding with your own spiritual belief system right now. This is something we're all dealing with right now. All right, with the full moon squaring Neptune. So thank the Lord, this full moon doesn't have a bunch of squares of oppositions. It's really just squaring Neptune. Now on the positive side, and another thing about the Neptune energy, Neptune deals with leaps of faith. Neptune deals with leaps of faith. This is why Pisces sun moon risings can jump into things dealing with their creative endeavors, or they could jump into love. They could jump into relationships to feel somebody else's emotions. This is why they could be real sacrificial. This is why Pisces sun moon rising, or motherfucking Venus in Pisces. This is why when they get into relationships, it's easier for them to jump into a selfless energy. It's easier for them to say, no, it's okay, babe. Use my funds. Use my car. You know, I'll hold that bill down this month until you get back on your feet. You feel me? I'll take care of that. You know, that's that Neptune energy. You feel me? But the thing is, strong Neptune energy will disconnect your ass from the physical realm like a motherfucker, especially if you got a strong Neptune placement. So I got a strong Neptune placement. I got Neptune right on my moon and on my ascendant. They're all in the same place. So when it comes to my personal outlook in the world, the ascendant, your personal outlook in the world, the personality, a lot of the times, you know, I can't really connect a lot of this shit I'm into personally with others unless they into some form of fucking spirituality, unless they have a deeper way of looking at the world from a spiritual perspective, unless they're into philosophy. You know, this is why I could be very imaginative in my own self, though. This is why when I was in school, you have a strong Neptune placement, you might be out of place in school. Because when it comes to technical things, that may not be your shit. That may not be your shit. Now, if you're talking spirituality, creativity, if you want to brainstorm on that, pull up. I got a spliff, I got a bottle, I got this, that, and a third. You know, I got everything lit, got some sage. We could brainstorm on that. But once you start talking all that extra technical shit, once you start talking about taxes, money management, 401ks, that shit is a little too much to deal with. I need somebody else with more practicality to deal with that shit. All right? You could be very sensitive to emotions. Once again, when you have a strong Neptune placement, there's multiple placements in the zodiac that'll influence empathic like energies or just make you sensitive to other people's energies in the first place. But being sensitive to other people's energies is also another form of being intuitive. All right? So this is what we got to understand right now with the full moon hitting Neptune. We also got to understand, because the full moon is squaring Neptune, any full moon transit, we don't want to have extreme reaction to anything. Emotions are high, you know, this is a time a lot of crime happens, a lot of dangerous shit happens. Car accidents, motherfuckers killing people and regretting that shit later because they did shit out of emotion. You know, this is that time. All right, so this is why any full moon time, we never want to have a super reaction to anything. This is a game. This is always a time to peep game with your own inner thoughts and emotions and your mental health and how other people are conducting themselves around you. This is a time to peep game, because if you're so much in a state of pushing out, when the full moon, the moon itself deals with reaction and receiving. So if you're not in a state of trying to receive while the full moon is full, you may miss certain things dealing with what universe wants you to see, because you're still in a state of projection. You're trying to act on things. You're trying to add on to things. You ain't gonna really understand or hear your partner out when they're trying to express things, because you're not the only one experiencing a full moon. Your partner experiencing the full moon. They may have some shit they got to get off their chest. Your boss, your manager, your child, you know, your family members, your best friend, they may have some shit that they got to release. So you want to put yourself in a state where, you know, you just peeping game. You just understanding the vibes around you. This is not the time to, if you're dealing with somebody in an intimate relationship or any of your close relationships, this is not a time to underestimate the shit that they telling you right now. They mean that shit. They mean that shit. They may have been holding that shit in for the longest. All right? So, you know, it's easy to have your loved ones try to lean on you around this time. It's a full moon time. You need some little bit of emotional stability from somebody. You may have to be the source of emotional stability for somebody. So that's the full moon squaring Neptune, guys. Now, who's coming out to help us during this full moon? What other planets are harmonizing with the full moon to help the full moon understand where to make detachments with? Motherfucking Saturn in retrograde. Saturn in retrograde is coming through right now, all right? So we've been talking about, we just knocked down a week down in Saturn retrograde. We got 18 more to go. God damn it. We got 18 more weeks, all right? Now, you know, if you asking me, my chart ruled by Saturn. I got Saturn all over my big three and shit. So I've learned to embrace Saturn, just like how I've been encouraging y'all to learn how to embrace Saturn traits and qualities in your life. You embrace Saturn, it ain't nothing you ain't finna understand how to build in your life. It ain't nothing you ain't finna understand how to build in your life. We all have the potential to be master builders if we know how to work with Saturn, if we know how to place time into things, if we know how to stop, pause, plan, and practically, rationally think about things, if we're not afraid to cut some shit off, whether it's a relationship, if we're not afraid to leave a job because we know we got to place more of our spiritual essence, energy, work, and time into something else we want to build, or learn how to manage our motherfucking priorities. So you can't leave your job, but you do have them extra hours. You come home from work, you watch Netflix, you watch Ozark. I just finished Ozark. R.I.P. Ruth. R.I.P. Ruth. As a matter of fact, everybody, let's get 5 seconds, moments of peace for Ruth. They did my girl dirty last episode. She was a real one too. She went out like a G. Ruth went out like a motherfucking G. All right. I don't like the way they ended the show though. It was a little, they cut it a little too short. But anyways, if you know how to embrace these Saturn qualities, if you working somewhere, you got a career somewhere, but spirit is calling for you to transition, because that's how spirit works. Once you stay too content in something, whether it's a relationship that's not helping you grow, a career that's not helping you grow, a career that doesn't align with your spiritual expansion and shit, watch spirit start creating extreme moments at the work. Watch you start fighting with coworkers. Watch your boss and managers start taking advantage of you. These are signs that spirit is trying to create in your life for you to just break the fuck free. This is why when one door closes, you cannot underestimate the other door that's opening. It's hard to see it at times, but you have to be spiritually in tune enough, especially in the times we're in right now with Saturn being retrograde and ending a lot of cycles, guys. You have to make, oh shit, my bad, y'all, you right. Somebody said, damn, you might be spoiling it for people. My bad, y'all, my bad. God damn it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Damn. I feel so bad. Cause my brother told me what happened in the last episode, and I didn't talk to that nigga for 3 days. He was impulsive as Aries. I was like, why the fuck you tell me that shit? This is why when I'm watching shows, I don't be telling him. Cause he watch everything. He got a Leo 4th house. So I know he's watching every motherfucker. If you got Leo 4th house, Sun in the 4th, your ass is Netflix and chill all day. My bad, y'all. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, if you heard what I just said about what's happening in Ozark at the end, the way it happens is crazy. I know that's... Because I be hot when people do that shit to me. I be hot. I stop talking to people for a week. You tell me some shit that's finna happen in the next episode. And I be so busy. So when I finally end my work for the day and I'm eating dinner, I'm finna watch a show or some shit. You feel me? Watch an episode or two. So if you fuck up that moment of peace for me, I'ma hold some resentment. I got Scorpio stellium. We hold grudges over here. It is what the fuck it is. All right. So my bad, y'all. My bad. My bad. But with where we at? You know, if you working at a job, you feel me, but you know you got bills to pay, this and the third. People be thinking this transition from working in this career and developing a career of your own or whatnot is supposed to, there's gonna be a time for that, for you to just have a nice gap and to make that transition. No, you gotta create that transition. You gotta create that. So if you know you got 2 hours to spare every day after work before you go to sleep, eat dinner and go to sleep, dedicate them that 1 hour every day towards working on that business, working on what you got on the side. So by the time you have a month, that's 6-7 hours a week. That accumulates. That adds up. We waste so much motherfucking... Look at how much time we be on Instagram. Look at your Instagram app. Look at how much hours you spend in a day. A lot of us, that shit is 5-6 hours plus. We can't turn off social media for a little bit. We can't make some sacrifices with social media and certain things in our life to build up what we want to build. You can always find the time what you want to find time for. Motherfuckers tell you, oh, my bad, I meant to call you back, or you called me 10 times yesterday, I was busy. Nah. Motherfuckers seen that shit. It's 2022, it's the age of Aquarius. Everybody on their phone. I ain't trying to hear that shit. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Everybody on their fucking phone. You seen them texts. Oh, what your shit was on Do Not Disturb? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Some of y'all got a crush in y'all DMs or something. Y'all crush DM them. Your crush DM you. You let that shit rock out for a little bit. For half an hour, you want to seem too thirsty. You're like, if I open up this DM too quick, they gonna think I'm too thirsty. They gonna think I'm on them. Let me let that bitch sit for 15 minutes. Let me let that DM sit for 20 minutes real quick. So we'll do shit like that for people we want to talk to. So I ain't trying to hear that shit. This motherfuckers telling you they ain't had the time for you, this, that, and the third. You better realize that. You better take that as, okay, Saturn retrograde. You letting me know who got time for me. You letting me know what relationships I should continue to work on and build and put time into. Oh yeah, that's a big Saturn retrograde thing right there. That's huge right there. All right. So, but with all that being said, we got the full moon trans in Sagittarius, and we got Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. So that's a sextile. All right. Sagittarius always helps Aquarius. Sagittarius naturally complements Aquarius to understand how to connect their beliefs and circulate their beliefs into the external realm, because Aquarius is heavy in the external realm. A lot of Aquariuses, if you have strong Aquarius placements, a lot of the times you may be real detached from your own family, but be very active out in the world. Your parents, people ask you about your parents and shit. Like, yeah, how's Johnny doing now? You know Johnny, he's just started a new business. He moved, he got that you know, he's having those tours that he be doing, his business tours, you know. He ain't been to the last 7 Thanksgivings, but you a heavy Aquarius. Your ass is always doing some shit out in the external realm. You know, bumping into different other faces, dealing with other different communities, trying to save the world and shit, you know. But Sagittarius helps Aquarius understand how to do that more wisely. It adds more of a spiritual essence. Fire signs always help the air signs. Fire signs excite air signs, you know. So when air signs have an idea, that's why they like bringing it to the fire signs, because they know the fire signs is going to have the excitement. They're going to be able to, you know, help build the vision, fire, vision, insight. So this is why a lot of air signs, fire signs are best friends, all right? And then when you have Aquarius, Aquarius helps Sagittarius add that Saturn influence. So Aquarius look at Sagittarius like, yo, you mad wise, but you need to learn how to put that wisdom into a container so it could build something for you. You don't need to be out here being a lost long guru, giving everybody all this insight, awareness, and advice and spiritual guidance and whatnot, or just giving your experience out with that industry you're in or whatnot without getting compensated for that shit. This is what Aquarius tell the Sagittarius. So this is why they be 2 peas in a pod. And what do we know they both got in common? They detached as a mug. They both detached as a mug. So that's why this makes a harmonious relationship in an intimate way and friends. Because when the Aquarius need some space, Sagittarius won't really bitch about it, because Sagittarius wants some goddamn space. Ain't no relationship harmonious without space. Ain't no relation. How you gonna miss your partner with no space? Where's the gap to miss somebody without no space? All right. So these signs understand that, but sometimes they be wanting a little too much space. They be wanting a little too much space. All right. So you know, with Saturn retrograde hitting the full moon already deals with detachment and releasing. But what Saturn does now, being in the mix, it's telling us to boss up with our emotions, to not let our emotions overcome us, because Saturn don't give a fuck about emotions. Saturn don't care about us being in our feelings. Saturn cares about how we finna use how we feel to build something and structure something. How we finna transmute it into some construction work in our life. How we gonna use our feelings. Okay, you depressed, you sad, you disappointed. We could use that to build. That's all Saturn care about, building. The IUs, Capricorn, IU, that's all Saturn care about. So if it's an emotion, if it's hurt, if it's pain, that's what it's going to look at it like. Once again, this is why if you have a heavy Aquarius, heavy Capricorn placements, this is why you'll build a lot. If you deal with certain forms of depression, darkness in your life, transformation, disappointed moments, any form of hurt or pain, this is why a Capricorn and Aquarius, they could get very resentful towards everybody in their fucking life, because in their head, they finna use that pain to help them build. But they'll block a lot of shit out though. They will be able to tunnel vision themselves and how they finna use this emotion to get in shape now. How they finna use this emotion and block the world out to build this business so they could eventually stunt on everybody. And it ain't you. It's a good way. It's a good way to help transmute some energy, but you still need to heal though. That's the part that they fuck up with. They don't realize they still gotta heal. It's like, okay, you used all that energy to help you stabilize some shit. You used all that. You used it to motivate you. We making money from this business now, or this is more structured in our life now, but we still hurt. We still hurt right now. Can we meditate a bit more? Can we go see that lady? Hey, babe, I seen the lady. I've been talking to the lady now. You know, I didn't know how much hurt I was holding in. You know, when I was being hella toxic in our relationship, cheating and, you know, just out here living recklessly, I didn't understand that stems from a childhood wound. But the lady, it wasn't until I talked to the lady, she let me know. All right, can we work this back out? A lot of y'all getting some of that around this time. So Saturn, don't think a Saturn retrograde, which Neptune is going to be going retrograde at the end of the month. Don't think that you won't have ex-partners come back. You will also have past business opportunities come back. If you have a lot of past business opportunities coming back right now, these are, and you're really resonating with them guys, these are things you want to jump on because they're not coming back for no reason. Saturn is bringing it back into your life because you may have been, let's say a year or two ago, you was trying to work on this business, you put some progress into it, but you didn't follow it out. That may have been what it was you were supposed to be dealing with, but it could have been a relationship. It could have been an overwhelming schedule. It could have been, you know, you didn't understand how to pace at that time, and then you ended up aborting mission. Saturn retrograde finna bring that shit back. Like, yo, that's what you were supposed to be working on. That's what you were supposed to be building. You're supposed to be doing that podcast with your friends. All right. Now is the time y'all got a better schedule. Get back on it. I don't care if y'all not getting the same views y'all was getting before. Put more energy work into that shit now. That's what you were supposed to be building and structuring. All right. So this is what we want to look at with Saturn being retrograde. But the fact that it's harmonizing with the full moon, it's helping us to be a bit more rational when it comes to our emotions. It's helping us to see how, you know, our subconscious and our mental health is actually affecting our reality and our ability to experience more, to expand more in our life. Sagittarius deals with expansion. Okay. We got to work. Once again, we got to work with Saturn, guys. We have to work with Saturn, guys. A lot of y'all, including me, we have things we need to cut the fuck out of our life. Whether they're bad habits, whether there's negative ways of thinking about what we're capable of, whether there's things we're attached to. We have to restrict these things. And Dawn, I appreciate from the lady. I appreciate the donation, Dawn. And you have to when it comes to restricting things in our life, especially when we've been connecting to something for so long, the more we connect to something, the harder it is to restrict something. So if we have a bad attachment to something and we've been attached to it since we've been in our teenage years, all right? We've been smoking weed since our teenage years. It's going to be way harder to cut that shit off during your Saturn return time when you're 27, 28, 29 because you've been doing it for so long. But when Saturn is retrograde, we have to understand that gives us more power to restrict things because it's a stronger enforcement for us to cut things out in our life. So you have to be able to pinpoint things in your life that you really want to restrict, there's a lot of things in our life that that whenever we're looking at our potential, there's things that we know, if I just cut this off, if I just put more time into this, I know I could get closer to that potential. This is what Saturn retrograde is trying to tell us. You're not bugging when you think that. You're not bugging when you think that. You see that potential in yourself for a reason, because you know you can manifest that or things beyond that. Because usually when we focus and concentrate on manifesting so hard, we never manifest just what it is that we were thinking about. It's always beyond that. It's always beyond that. You can't tell me the last time you tried to manifest something, you put your blood, sweat, and tears and time and energy and made sacrifices for something, and you just manifested exactly what it was you was imagining. It's always going to excel past that. So I say that to say this full moon is adding heavy emotion this week specifically. Yeah, we got Saturn retrograde. Saturn's retrograde to the fall. So every time we experience a full moon, it's only going to add more heavier emotion around that time to Saturn retrograde. But especially this one because the full moon is actually harmonizing with Saturn retrograde. So we got to pinpoint these things, guys. Once again, take the week to realize these things. Because the week before this full moon, the week before today, all of last week, and all of this week, this upcoming week we're experiencing, the energy lingers. It's not just today. We're going to be pinpointing things subconsciously throughout the week. So you can't just think these realizations are to be made in 1 or 2 days. No, this is 3. We're going to be experiencing these things 3 moon transits after this until we get to the new moon in Cancer. Okay, so that's how Saturn retrograde is playing a part. Now Mars is harmonizing with the full moon. We got Mars in Aries, and it's harmonizing with the full moon in Sagittarius, 2 fire signs. This is another reason why there's going to be a lot of crazy shit going on this week, because it's a lot of fire energy amongst the full moon, and fire don't think before it act. You know, fire acts first, thinks later. This is not positive or negative. It is what it is. There's times in our life we need to learn how to act and jump into shit without thinking so much. And then there's times we need to sit back, plan a little bit before we take action. It works great for Aries and fire and Leos and Sagittarius a lot of the times. It backfires a lot of the times. Just like with air signs, our communication helps us a lot of the times. It backfires a lot of the times. A lot of times air signs fuck shit up because they talk too much. You know, they say shit they shouldn't have said to their partner. Said shit a little too early in the relationship. Oh shit. Because you know Libras and Gemini, I'm not even going to dive into that. Earth signs, their practicality helps them, and it could be a setback at times. Some Taurus, Virgos, Capricorns, they're gifted understanding how to structure something, how to have a grasp on the presence and be in the present and be stable. They are examples of stability to others. A broke Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, that don't even sound right. A broke Taurus, that don't even sound right. But a broke earth sign be giving people stability. Earth signs will be broke. Somebody will come to them because they know that this Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo understands structuring. And they be like, yo, I got this business plan. Help me. What you think about this, that, and the third? You got this broke Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo give you some advice. Now, the earth sign ends up manifesting a high position in that business out of thin air because their ability to help structure and stabilize. And the person that came to them for that advice is like, I wouldn't have even been able to launch this business, this record label, this company, if I didn't have that insight in the first place. I need them. I need them. Do you want to be partner CEOs? I'll give you this much stake in the company if you this, that, and the third. So earth signs will manifest positions like that in their life. But at the same time, overthinking, over practicalizing, that'll hurt an earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn will have a hit song on their hands and be trying to mix it and master it and engineer it. And it's like, yo, the song is good. You overdoing it right now. It's overkill. It's overkill. Let the art flow. Let your creativity flow. You over planning. You over structuring it. You know, you got a business you want to launch. You changing the labels and the products 1,000 times before you even let the product see the first version. It's like, what you even changing? You ain't even getting no results, no feedback to be changing anything. It's like, nah, I just feel like these bottles, these labels, this is the third label you done made. We 6 months into the year. You wanted to drop this business in February. How you know what labels the people like? Over practicalizing. And then you got water signs. Their intuition and how emotionally connected they could become to things. This could hurt them and this could help them a lot of times. So water signs are gifted with the subconscious. Water signs can read people easily. A lot of water signs know when you lying to them. A lot of water signs, if you go up, especially a water sign woman, because the woman energy, the feminine energy already correlates to the vibration of water. Water deals with vibration, fluid. That's already feminine energy. So even if you are a woman with no water in the chart, you are water. You still water by default. You carry, your womb is built of fluids for a baby to even build its motherfucking vessel. There's a lot of fluids in there. You deal with water. We know other ways you deal with water, all right? It's 10:20, so we could be a little PG, we could be a little rated R right now, but women, you deal with fluids. So a water sign woman, a guy could try to come up to a Cancer woman, a Scorpio woman, or a Pisces woman at the cookout, hoochie daddy shorts on, all right? Just ordered a couple of more pairs. Y'all watch out this summer. A guy, hoochie daddy shorts on, hair did, all fly, this and the third. And if he don't come to the Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces woman genuine, transparent, if he comes to this woman with like a fake persona or he's trying to look like something, 2 minutes into the first interaction, a water sign woman is already gonna know this nigga is putting up a different persona. I don't even know this nigga, but I know he ain't who he's presenting to be right now. So this is something women could do in general. But if you got strong water placements for a woman, you do this 24/7 to the point you may have adapted towards this with men. So it's almost to the point when a man approaches you, you know to give him a grace period with the first impression. Because you know he was trying to make an impression on you, and you know, all right, it's going to probably take the second date or us to talk more to start understanding who he truly is. So women in the water sign women will understand this shit. All right? You know, men, we different. We're visual creatures. We deal with. So a woman could game us. A man that ain't on point, we could get gamed by a woman easily. Because a lot of us may not read the subconscious. We may not take time to read the subconscious. So we just looking at the visual. A woman could approach us, this, that, and the third. We think like, yeah, you feel me? Shorty came up to me at the cookout. She came up to me, nigga. She see the ice. She see the chain. She see the guns. You feel me? First date, your ass gets stuck up. First day she set your ass up. Your ass get robbed because your ass was just you wasn't reading nothing about the subconscious. You got all gassed up because of the appearance and yeah, nice ass chain got your ass set the fuck up. So you got to understand your gifts and how your natural elements and energies can set your ass back. There's a positive and negative to everything. I've been posting a lot about certain synastry alignments, and a lot of y'all been DMing me, hey, Boro, my husband is a this, that, and the third. How do we play out? How does this mean something? I'm dating somebody that's this, that, and this, that, and the third sign. I can only give you the potential. I can only look out for you to understand the potential of how your energies may clash and how your energies may naturally complement each other. But when clashes come, it's going to be up to you. It comes down to how much effort you want to put in a relationship. Because there's some relationships out there that's full of squares and oppositions. But these two people wanted to be with each other so goddamn bad. They said, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about how much clashes we have. This is who I want to be with. This is who I want to have a lifelong partnership with. This is who I want to reproduce with. You know? Yes, I know they're emotionally reserved. Yes, I know they're impulsive. Yes, I know they're chaotic. Yes, I know they're a little bit mentally unstable. But that's my mentally unstable woman. That's my chaotic woman. She's mine because I could deal with the chaos. I'm built to deal with this shit. I know how to tame it when it's time to tame it. I understand it. You know, so don't get discouraged when you have certain squares and oppositions in the chart. This is actually a good thing. You actually should be a little up on the fence when you connect with somebody and you don't got squares and oppositions, because that shows a huge potential for this person to just be like, man, fuck that shit. When let's say you invested into the relationship and then some shit happens, that friction and that square, it's almost like it's pushing y'all to learn each other and understand each other, and that's what brings the sexual attraction as well. All right, you're most likely gonna have huge sexual attraction with somebody with a lot of squares and oppositions. So you know, if you have squares and oppositions, if you don't have squares and oppositions, you dealing with somebody, when something occurs, it may be easy for them to just say, fuck this shit, I don't need to deal with this shit, and just walk the fuck out. Vice versa, you might be in that energy like, man, fuck this shit. It ain't no strong gravitational pull, you know? So yes, an Aries could be with a Libra. Yes, a Scorpio could be with a Taurus. You know, these relationships, I was joking about Cancers and Aquarius in my story the other day, and I said a lot of y'all started DMing me that's actually a Cancer dating Aquarius, but mostly it was y'all parents. Y'all think y'all slick. Y'all was trying to stick up for the Cancer Aquarius parent, knowing that was your parents. Your parents know how to work through her. Our parents knew how to work through problems and issues. We don't. This generation don't, because we have too much. We feel like we have too much access to connecting to other people, more options, social media. There's so much access to connecting to others. So a lot of the times, if you don't really want to be with somebody and work something out, it's easy for us to bail out in this generation. We feel like, man, the grass green on the other side, man. Fuck it. Our parents, though, it was different. They had a different outlook from their generation, especially if you melanated. We had to stick together back then. I don't know what the fuck going on now. Black man can't tell the black woman nothing. Black woman can't tell the black man nothing. I don't know. But that's a story for a whole nother day, of course. But, you know, this is when we got Mars in the mix. I don't know how we got there. But now we got Mars in the mix with the full moon. Now, once again, fire energies, impulsive energies. But fire brings insight. Fire brings awareness. Fire enhances creativity. All right? Fire pushes you to take action. So these are natural gifts of fire signs. Fire brings vitality, durability. This is why a lot of fire, Leos, Aries, Sagittarius, they could do a lot with no sleep. If you got strong planets in the first house, the fifth house, the ninth house, you may be able to be very active on little sleep at times. Especially if you are a fire moon. You know, and I don't encourage y'all to have a fucked up sleep schedule, but sometimes life is just fast for a fire sign. You know, life moves very fast for people with strong fire placements. So sometimes they need that air friend to either give them advice to slow down. They need that earth friend to help stabilize them, ground them. Not too much earth, because earth put the fire out. So fire don't like too much earth energy. They don't like when you throw too much practicality at them. They don't like that because it starts coming off as a restriction. You trying to condense my feelings and emotions. You trying to condense how I feel about things or my insight or how I see things. But a lot of fire signs help to stabilize earth signs. Or the water signs, you know, water signs absorb the emotion of fire signs. This is another gift water signs have, you know. So, you know, water signs can take the heat for a lot of things going on in their family or relationships because they know they could kind of absorb that energy and disperse it. Now this is more, the water signs could do this subconsciously, and when they're more evolved, they'll do it consciously, you know. So your water sign partner will take the hit for you for a couple of things, or will let you vent, or will let you get that steam off and be the one to be the listening ear, because they know they already deal with vibrations. So when they go back, before they go to sleep and they start dealing with their emotions, they'll filter out what you gave them and throw that shit away. Now you not holding it. Now they understand you more. They more connected to you, but it's not really a detriment to them. So this shit is deep. This is like damn near metaphysical and not even astrological at this point, because this is what women do with men. This is why men look to women as their cushion. This is why men look towards women as their safe space, because women have this ability. This is why a man can be very frustrated in a relationship when their woman is not doing that for them. This is why a man could get very frustrated, because we spiritually pick up on your ability to do this. We spiritually pick up on the ability from us to come home from a hard days of work, and you be that nurturer. You be the person to understand what the man has to go out in the world, what we trying to build and structure, and how we trying to build bridges and buildings to help keep the world stable. That takes a toll on a man. You know, the woman is the one that's able to have that spiritual gift to bring the emotional state, to emotionally stabilize this person, to mentally stabilize the man. All right. Vice versa. With a woman being able, at times, even though you're gifted subconsciously, all right, and not to side talk too much, y'all know I like to teach in between. For a woman being spiritually gifted, dealing with receiving and dealing with the subconscious, just because you gifted with it don't mean it get overwhelming at times, right? Don't mean it get overwhelming dealing with the family and the children and having to keep up duties in the home, right? So this is when the man comes in and makes sure we are the chest for you to lay on. This is when we come in and in some type of shape or form utilize masculinity to help you feel more stable and secure, so you could recharge and reset in us. It's the yin and the yang, y'all. And if you're a woman and you thinking like, oh, I'm not gonna get in no relationship for a man, I don't want to be no man safe space, this and the third. Any woman saying some shit like that, I don't want to be a man safe space, or what I look like having a man just lean on me. You don't understand the yin yang. It ain't about what you're doing for him. It's about how you guys are able to reflect that energy. It's about how you're able to help stabilize him emotionally, mentally, and then how he can help stabilize you, period. You know, so you can deal with your emotions in a more efficient way. So a father that don't got the household, you know, don't got the bills taken care of or structured in a certain type of way, or there's no stability in the home, this adds way more of a toll on the mother to upkeep things in the home. But if you have a responsible man, you know, that is a true example of masculinity, and he knows how to stabilize his family. He knows how to be a leader for his children. You know how much easier it makes the job for the mother, for the woman, for the feminine energy. Vice versa. You know, if the woman is able to be understanding and nurturing of her man, then the man is more motivated to do what the fuck he gotta do. These are innate traits in us, guys. This ain't some shit we turn on and turn off. This is what we came into the world with. It's the world that has been destructing these things. It's the world, these physical programs that's taken away from natural harmony, natural forms of spiritual. This is spiritual. This is natural energy. All right. So with Mars in the mix, guys, we have to be careful that we're not too impulsive trying to cut things off right now, trying to detach from things right now. This is the time to acknowledge what's to be detached. A lot of you guys are in situations that you do want to transition, right? A lot of you guys are in situations where, excuse me, guys. A lot of you guys are in situations where you do want to transition, or there is something you want to cut off in your life, but you can't really see how right now. That's a high It's very likely that a lot of us are dealing with that right now because Neptune is in the mix. Neptune makes things a little blurry, a little ambiguous, a little confusing at times. You know, it makes us more connected to the issue. It makes us more sensitive to the issue. So the things that we have to neglect, the things we have to restrict right now in our life, the things we do need to, you know, put some focus on in order to filter out in our lives, we're way too sensitive to these things right now. You cannot neglect these things. All right? You know, so guys, when it comes to, you know, don't overwhelm yourself in trying to make these overnight changes. Saturn's retrograde, y'all. We have the whole summer, you know, we have the whole summer to work on these things. A lot of us, once again, been attached or connected to certain things for a little minute. So we need to put some energy work to really take it day by day, understanding how to cut something off. And it doesn't just start at how to cut something off. It's understanding how to maintain that space between what you cut off. You could stop smoking weed today. You still got day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5 to understand what spiritual space you need to put yourself in so that attachment is not overwhelming on you. Are you meditating? Are you going for walks? Are you exercising? Are you exercising the mind, reading a bit? Are you adding productive things into your schedule? Because if you're not understanding how to substitute for the things we cut off at the moment, we're just going to find ourselves back into the same cycle. You know? My older brother wants to stop smoking, okay? It's really for a motherfucking job. It ain't for no spiritual development shit. You about to get another job. He talking about like, yo, bro, you know how to get this, you know any drug tests? I know you be into that natural health shit. There ain't no herbs to get this shit out my system. I'll be like, nigga, stop smoking. All right? But, you know, I was telling him the other day, I said, bro, if you don't substitute anything when you do stop smoking, you're going to find yourself just right back into it. So if you're going to be home when you're not working and just chilling Netflix and chilling and shit, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. All right? So we need to keep this in mind. If there's a lot of us are breaking free from relationships, all right? And I don't want to throw so much of that energy in the air to have y'all worried about your relationship or whatnot, have y'all worried what's on the subconscious of your partner. If you know you're in a stable relationship, all this is going to do at this time is bring more understanding to your partner's subconscious around this time, right? And how to adapt with your subconscious. So it's not to just worry that your partner finna up and leave, but this energy didn't just start today. It's been lingering from the week coming into it. So if shit been shaky, if motherfuckers been unreliable, if the connection been disconnecting lately, then this may be the week you say, you know what, this don't need to keep going on. Like, I'm good. Like, I think I learned what I needed to learn from this experience, which every relationship is a learning experience. I think I learned what I needed to learn. And I'm going to move on without a grudge. Y'all got to learn how to get out of relationships without a grudge too. Because that don't help you to connect to what is it that's waiting for you on the other side. You got to learn how to get out of a relationship. Take your time processing what you believe, why you believe God put you in that relationship. Because you connecting with somebody and we ain't talking about no bullshit situationship right now. We ain't talking about that. You know. Matter of fact, a lot of times situationships are relationships nowadays. So a lot of times we are dating people and we are doing all relationship like things without a motherfucking title. So if it is a situation where you are emotionally invested, you placed time into this shit. Y'all was intimately connecting. You exchanging inner thoughts and inner feelings, whether it had a title or not. That is a relationship. All right, that is a relationship. A title is a physical realm thing. A connection is a spiritual thing. Marriage, physical realm thing. We connect spiritually before we sign on the dotted line, before I call you my girl or my wife. Before we did any of that, we connected spiritually. We connected emotionally, mentally. All that other shit is just titles that the physical realm wants us to throw on things. So this is not me encouraging in situationships, but y'all need to understand that, because some of y'all be thinking just because y'all don't have a title with somebody, it's like, okay, hold on, y'all been fucking, y'all been exchanging meals, y'all been decompressing around each other, getting each other's stress loads off on each other, talking about real family life issues with each other, and you talking about that ain't your girl? You talking about that ain't your guy? That ain't your boyfriend? Okay. I'll let you believe what you want to believe. You know, that's a relationship. That's a whole relationship. Title or not. All right, guys. So this is why I'm not so big on marriage. No shade to anybody that's married, but you know, if I can't build a spirit, if I build a spiritual connect, any person that you build a spiritual connection with, you're gonna be able to work around all of that shit, whether you want to get married or not. If the spiritual connection, if that foundation is strong enough, you know. And another thing, since I've been talking about relationships and twin flames a lot of y'all think y'all have to be with y'all twin flame or soulmate to have a harmonious marriage or relationship. You don't marry your soulmates and twin flames every lifetime, y'all. That shit don't happen. It don't happen. All right? It's not that frequent. There's times you've been married to your soulmate and twin flames, and you know, like I said, you come into this lifetime and you get into other experiences and you end up building a harmonious connection with somebody else. So then y'all may not attract each other like that in this lifetime. You know, or if it does, it may be real brief. You know, you may have had a slight opportunity. You may have rubbed shoulders with your soulmate twin flame and you didn't even realize it. You didn't even realize it. You didn't even realize it because y'all both were invested into different things. But that's why that energy felt familiar though at the moment, you know. So don't think, you know, just because you're not with your quote unquote twin flame, this and that it can't turn it, your relationship can't be harmonious. All right, guys. So we need to keep that in mind with relationships. Anything else I need to hover on? You know, that was just a little warm up before I get into the houses. I'm not going to spend too much time on the houses. Yeah, I'm just want to pinpoint what's going on. Saturn retrograde in the mix. Mars in the mix. Neptune square. You guys obviously need to know the house you have Sagittarius and Gemini in. These houses are fully activated right now. Yeah, that's about it, y'all. That's about it, y'all. So look, Aries risings. Aries risings. Aries risings. We have Gemini in the 3rd house, Sagittarius in the 9th house. So the full moon is transiting your 9th house. Your 3rd and 9th house axis is fully activated right now. So the whole Gemini season, you've been experiencing a lot of things dealing with your surroundings, close relationships, close friends, a lot of things that you want to study or learn. You're investing. We got the guru Shady Cheryl's in the building. She's in the building, y'all. All right. So you got as an Aries rising with the sun transiting in the 3rd house, it's been a very interactive time for you guys. You guys may have traveled around this time too, or you're planning to travel. So with the full moon transiting in the 9th house is the area that we don't want to overreact with right now, that we want to keep game and understand, because everything in the 9th house, the subconscious is coming to the surface level. So the week before and this upcoming week, there's going to be a lot of new realizations about what's holding you back from traveling, expanding beyond your 3rd house, aka what your sun been paying attention to with relationships. You're understanding what relationships keep you content or restricted in some type of shape or form. Every time you want to go on vacation, you tell your friend, you set up the group chat, you feel me, like, all right, y'all, we out to Memorial Day, we out to Jamaica. I already put the deposit down on the Airbnb. All right, so I just need y'all to give me the $200 every month leading up to what's the name. All right, guys. By the time it starts to start making payments, you don't put the deposit. When you said you put the deposit down on the Airbnb, everybody was like, "Oh, it's lit," because they know there's less work for them to do. Now you gave them a spot for them to bring their finances into it. Once the next month started and they had to start making payments, the chat started going dead. Be like, all right, y'all got y'all payments for this month. So a lot of y'all and stupid, you starting to realize which one of your friends be on that bullshit. It's like, you know, I'm gonna stop planning vacations with y'all. I'm gonna stop trying to connect things I want to experience in my life with y'all, or I know who I can do it with. Around this time. All right. You know, it might be some shit going on with court cases with some of y'all. All right. Don't press the issue right now. Okay, let that resolve in the way it's resolving. But when it comes to education matters, a lot of you guys, remember, full moon, this is a lot of ending cycle energy, guys. This full moon specifically is a lot of cycles coming to an end. It's a lot of cycles coming to an end this specific week. Saturn retrograde is already putting things, closing doors to open new ones in our life. throughout this whole transit. The fact that the full moon in Sagittarius is hitting it, both of these signs deal with detachment. Full moon deal with detaching. There's a lot of things coming to an end this week. There's a lot of things coming into completion as well, because this lunar travel started in December of last year. So Aries risings, there may be some things dealing with education, school, siblings, your close friends, and your surroundings that you may have started around December, and now you're coming to a completion at it. You might be finishing a course right now, all right? You may be close to getting these credentials that you need to take into an earth house or something, but you had to learn this first. You had to get that degree. You had to pass this first, all right? A lot of y'all are experiencing that around this time. So you have to make sure, Aries rising, that you are, especially your Aries, your whole Aries rising, you got Mars in the first house, so you on go mode right now, Aries rising. You ain't really reluctant to start things in your life. You ain't really reluctant to change or transform things in your life right now, Aries rising. So you need to be pretty poised and composed with how you express things to close friends, all right? And how you keep a level of patience with the things that you're learning. If you're dealing with any frustration with a class or course, something that you're investing into to learn is a bit frustrating, it's hard to grasp it, you need to keep the patience right now, all right? Because you're gonna get closer to some sort of completion with that endeavor around this time. You guys are also seeing who relates to your belief system and who you can articulate and connect your thoughts around right now, Aries rising. So you guys specifically, third house, air house, relationships, close friends, siblings, surroundings, roommates, relatives. Ninth house, education, so, and spirituality. So there may be certain things, certain spiritual pursuits you may be on. It may be certain shit that you're so excited about with spirituality, and you're realizing, damn, I'm so excited about understanding this shit about astrology, moon magic, the occult, money rituals. I don't even have nobody to really relate that shit with. So it's starting to build more of a philosophy of your inner circle right now, Aries rising. This is Aries sun and Aries rising, excuse me. This is applying to Aries sun and Aries risings. So right now you're in a space of making sure you hone on to this new skill that you're learning about, this new credential that you're trying to get at this time. And when it comes into traveling matters, you guys may be preparing to travel around this time or have already traveled. If you're preparing to travel right now as an Aries rising, please make sure that, anticipate some delays. Anticipate some frustrations dealing with traveling, booking agencies, and all that stupid shit, all right? Anticipate that. It shouldn't be nothing too heavy, okay? And make sure that you're pretty aware of how you're dealing with time management right now as well. This is going to be a time, though, that you may have a sibling, relative, or close friend release some shit, and some shit that you need to know, all right? That's very important to understand with a highlighted third house and an activated ass ninth house. Once again, Saturn retrograde is hitting that full moon in the ninth house. Neptune is hitting that full moon in the ninth house. So you're very dreamy and imaginative about what is it you want to experience, adventure, and learn about right now. When it comes to a lot of you guys want to start teaching astrology. You want to start teaching spirituality. You want to start teaching about some shit that you have experience with, even if it's not dealing with spirituality. And you're very inspired right now, seeing the potential of you doing that. Saturn retrograde is playing a part to make sure that you are cutting off anything that's restricting you from embracing that. Like, damn, I don't know if I want to teach about holistic health, but like, there's all these other holistic health content creators and teachers out there already. Like, who's really gonna listen to me and connect to me? It ain't never a cap on the industry. It ain't never a cap on what you can excel with. If a new rapper come out with a fire song today, or do we just say, man, fuck that motherfucker, we got Little Baby, Future? Hell no. This nigga just brought some new shit to the table. This shit bang. This shit slapping. So we don't just you can't have that type of mindset. And this is something we may all do when we're starting new things in our life, especially if it's dealing anything that we want to present to the world through social media and things. We may, especially if you got a lot of air energy in the chart, especially if you got a strong ass Mercury, you will start comparing and contrasting yourself to people that's doing things in your lane. You are you. Nobody does what you do the way you do it, the way you finna do it. All right? Don't get too caught up in who's doing what the fuck they doing. You finna pave your own lane with what you do. And people are gonna connect to you not just for what you may be giving out, but for how you deliver it, your energy delivering it, energy you give off, because don't nobody give off what you give off. All right? Understand that. That's for everybody, right? That's a gem for everybody right now. All right? Especially during Saturn retrograde, with a lot of y'all revising how y'all want to deal with business and structure, career in y'all life. We all got to start somewhere, right? That same person you comparing yourself to, they wasn't the first astrologer. They wasn't the first rapper. They wasn't the first holistic health teacher. They wasn't the first author. They wasn't the first YouTuber. So if they was able to start somewhere and build their shit up, you got to think about that shit when you comparing themselves. Like, damn, they had to start somewhere. They had to start somewhere, so do I. All right, so Aries risings, these are the things that are the emphasis right now. What's holding you back from expanding in your 9th house with your spiritual development, from the things that you're pursuing from an educational point of view? How's your new awareness of your relationships and things in your surroundings holding you back from expanding in your 9th house? You may have some siblings, relatives, close friends that kind of, listen, I'm from the hood. I'm from the block. I grew up around gangsters. All right. So I know how the hood mentality is. The farthest vacation for a lot of my homies was Miami. All right. When you are so connected to your 3rd house, to your neighborhood, to your first, because the 3rd house is the first environment you got familiar with in life. When you're so connected to your 3rd house, sometimes you don't realize how your 3rd house is keeping you in your 3rd house. You don't realize how there's grass greener on the other side. All right? I be having to tell the homies, y'all motherfuckers gotta get passports. There's more to life than Miami, y'all. The farthest niggas from the hood go is Puerto Rico at times, because Puerto Rico don't got the restrictions. Puerto Rico done turned into Miami the past 2 years for niggas in New York. I went to Puerto Rico for my birthday. I was out here like, hold on. And I brought weed to Puerto Rico too. I brought weed from New York. But before I even checked into my hotel, I was like, what the fuck, I bring weed here. I know I can get weed. That nigga sell weed. I know a nigga that sell weed when I see him. I was like, we got the whole hood in Puerto Rico. I know the Puerto Rico natives like, what the fuck going on here? That gentrification must be hard in New York. All these niggas moving to Puerto Rico. Is y'all niggas staying or y'all just vacation? I thought y'all niggas was staying. Y'all look comfortable. All right? So there's more to life than your 3rd house, Aries risings. This is what the sun transit in the 3rd house was doing for y'all, to help you understand how to expand. This is what the full moon is doing in the 9th house, helping you understand how to expand in the 3rd house, and it's pointing out all people, places, and things, family, traditions, and everything that keep you condensed in your 3rd house. Okay? That's Aries risings. Taurus risings. Taurus rising. You got Gemini in the 2nd house. Sun transit in your 2nd house. Full moon in the 8th house. There's a lot of things going on with your finances and money right now. There's a lot of things that's about to be cleared up with debts right now. Your sun transit in the 2nd house, you guys probably got a new connect with understanding how to clean your credit. New awareness and information. Don't think awareness and information ain't a gift. Sometimes, especially if you got a lot of Earth placements, strong Saturn placements, you think the physical thing is always the gift. You think the money and the result is always the gift. Information and advice you could get could change your life. Knowledge and information changes people's lives when they apply it. So a lot of you Taurus risings with the sun transit in your 2nd house, you are understanding new ways to clean your credit. Understanding new ways to get from point A to B with your finances. You know, you may have ran into some money You may have ran into some money this Gemini season, or you're expecting some bread right now. All right. When it comes to your value system, this has been under awareness throughout the whole motherfucking throughout the whole Gemini season. You know, you seeing how your friends and your you know, because the second house, this is what we value. So anything that we value could fall into the second house. So the second house could get flexible like that. You know, so if it's a family tradition you value, family culture you value, that could fall into the second house. You know, if it's certain concepts you value, that falls into the second house. I have Pisces in the second house, so I naturally value the fuck out of spirituality. I naturally value a lot of things dealing with the world. Whether I want to be isolated and be like, man, fuck what's going on in the world, I'm building my own world, I can't help it. I'm too connected. I value too, I'm too sensitive to the programs and the matrix and helping others raise their vibration so they don't have to be locked into the matrix. I'm too sensitive to that. That's a part of my value system. So anything that falls into that second house is going to be a part of your value system. And these are the things you were gaining awareness about during Gemini season, Taurus rising. You know, how what you value affect your bread too. So a lot of y'all ran into new opportunities to make money, but something that you attached to, or something dealing with your relationships and your circle, because you got Gemini in the second house. So sometimes Gemini in the second house, you consider way too much opinions when it comes to what you value. You deal with a lot of peer pressure when it comes to what you value. People always trying to change your mind when it comes to what you value. You might have a real changeable mind when it comes to your value system, you know. But you are gonna have the gift you're gonna have the gift of communicating and articulating your value system once it is established in a certain way. So now we got the full moon transit in the 8th house, which also deals with our passions, motives, our hidden energies, secrets, the occult. Huge influence on transformation, regeneration, rebirths, and joint finances. Best believe the 8th house has a lot to do with money and finances as well. This is a connected axis with the 2nd and 8th house. You're not going to mention no house in the zodiac that don't got something tied into the opposite house. All right? So the 1st house did with our personal life. 7th house did with our relationships. The two got to clash sooner or later. You got to observe your individuality and relationships. And a lot of the times we learn about our 1st house ourselves through people, through relationships. All right. So with the full moon transit in the 8th house, you guys, Taurus rising, are starting to understand who you want to continue to deal with joint finances with, who you finna be, if you got your money tied into things with other people or any type of collaborative business efforts, if you really resonate, if you may be resonating on not wanting to invest into that shit no more. All right. So that may be something to restrict your understanding how to lift some of your passions up into the surface level so it don't stay too deep in the 8th house. You're understanding how to connect to some of these things to support the information you've been gaining in the 2nd house. You know? So for example, Taurus risings is like you guys are in a position where you have something that you creatively invested in. You know, you have a certain creative gift for something. You know, you have a certain passion to do something. This Gemini season, the sun used a person, maybe because it's Gemini, used a person in the 2nd house to give you advice and insight on how you could use creativity to build your finances. So maybe somebody told you about, yeah, man, you know, I heard they got this new pop-up shop stand every weekend in your neighborhood. It's 2 blocks away from you, and this, that, and the third. I'm seeing it marketed everywhere. That information helps you to connect something out your 8th house that could help build the 2nd house. So you got the information and the awareness about how to build the stability. Now you're in a space with the full moon transit in the 8th house. Like, okay, so I could use this passion. I could use this sense of maybe spirituality. I could use my ability to make soaps and my ability to do this and the third, my ability to do readings, and I could set up my pop-up shop there. You know, it's almost like that type of energy, okay? But the full moon is very uncomfortable in the 8th house, so you guys are going to be feeling intense vibrations around this time. The mutable signs are going to be feeling this energy intensely. I should have said that in the beginning. All right. The mutable signs are going to be feeling this energy intensely. My Geminis, Sagittarius, but really more so the Pisces. It's really more so everybody but Gemini. You know, Gemini gonna be feeling this energy heavy, but they got the sun, so they always have that support. It's still their time to shine. All right. But when it comes into the Sagittarius, Virgo and Pisces, you guys are going to be feeling this energy the most intensely, especially if you got planets in mutable signs. You know, between 18 and 25 degrees of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. Y'all are going to be feeling the pull on this energy to make certain restrictions and detach things. All right. So, yeah. So with the full moon transit in the 8th house, it's the full moon dives deep in the 8th house. So right now, insecurities have to be lifted up. Because you got a new awareness about how to build your stability and security in the 2nd house. You may have gained some new information, some new opportunities to make money. You may have ran into some money during Gemini season. But now the full moon in the 8th house, it has to lift up negative ways of thinking, certain insecurities. You know, we can't lift these things up overnight, but if we acknowledge this is a negative insecurity that I have that holds me back from building my value system, from building the stability and security, I'm hella creative with something, but I'm insecure about how to deliver it to the world. I can't let that stop me right now. I have to detach myself, or I have to develop an evolved way of looking at this so it don't stop me from what I want to build. This type of energy, Taurus risings, all right? But y'all's in cut-off mode, though. Y'all's in cut-off mode for real. And I need y'all to definitely not make no impulsive decisions. Taurus risings usually don't do things impulsively. Y'all are usually slow and steady wins the race. Y'all are pretty stable. And y'all are patient. But, you know, I don't know what your sun and moon is, though. I don't know where your Mars is at, though. You know? So, you guys have to make sure y'all not doing nothing impulsive, because full moon in the 8th house, you feeling deeply right now. You feeling, you may be reading into things a little too deeply right now. All right? When it comes to insecurities and when it comes to things that you need to change and transform in your life, because the full moon transit in the 8th house ain't really going to cut you no slack when it comes to things dealing with wounds, with things dealing with transformation. It ain't going to cut you no slack, because the moon got to do what it got to do. So it got to connect. It got to nurture. It got to bring understanding. But to do that in the 8th house, it got to go deep. It got to go chill with the demons. It got to go chill with the demons and the motherfucking monsters. It's like Jesus in the hood. Jesus wasn't just Jesus was with niggas in the hood. Jesus was on the block. The scammers and the drug dealers, they had Jesus on speed dial. Hey, Jesus, niggas is out here tripping and shit, you know. Or, hey, Jesus, I need some motherfucking repentance. You know, I stuck a motherfucker up the other week, and I can't really go to the church in our neighborhood to make a confession because I robbed them niggas last week too. You the only person I could call on. Jesus like, God damn it, all right, I'll be there. Make sure y'all roll up too. Don't tell nobody I've been smoking with y'all. All right? I need them to figure out what I meant, because if people find out I was smoking, they ain't gonna know what I'm talking about with that burning bush allegory in the Bible. I'm gonna just be giving it away for free. They're gonna find out later. But go ahead and roll something up. We're gonna talk about it. So take that analogy into what the moon is doing. The moon is Jesus. No bullshit. The full moon for Taurus risings is Jesus. And right now you're going to go hang out with your demons to get them motherfuckers out the way, to let them know what it is. They gonna be there. You're not eradicating them. We all have our demons. We all have our shadow side. That don't never leave us. We have our higher selves and our lower selves. We have our lighter selves and our darker selves. You know, we have our consciousness and our awareness, and we have our shadow. The things people don't see from us, the things we buried. We all have an 8th house. So when it comes to you know, the full moon transit here, you have to acknowledge your demons. You have to acknowledge your shadow to help you take this awareness you've developed about your values and making money and how you really want to invest into the things you value within yourself leading into Cancer season. All right? So that's my Taurus risings. Gemini risings. All right? I'm going to try not to spend too much time on this. Okay, and excuse me, before I go into Gemini rising, Taurus risings, because Saturn retrograde is harmonizing with the full moon, that would be coming out of what? We got Sagittarius in the 8th house, Capricorn. Yeah, so that would be your 11th house. So it may be certain things being restricted, you know, dealing with relationships and community and associates that you've been connected or attached to, that's holding you back from investing into your true values. You need to pay attention to that. You know, may need to break free from some form of relationships or some group environment you're a part of. And then we also have Neptune that's squaring it. So you need to believe in what you can transform right now, Taurus risings. This is not a time to be overly practical, especially if you're a Taurus rising with an air sun, earth moon. You may be over practicalizing things right now. Neptune is hitting that full moon in your 8th house to help you to believe you can overcome your shadow, help you believe you can overcome your insecurities, help you believe you can actually heal this wound. You know, it ain't impossible, or we could learn how to deal with life with this wound. Some wounds is fucking deep. We got to deal with them shits for the rest of our life if we want to be realistic here. People think healing is all right, yeah, I'm done healing. Healing don't really necessarily ever stop. We have to consistently monitor the things that we are healing from. So if you experience some form of abuse in your childhood, you think when you're 40, you're just going to be completely healed from it? No. Part of the healing comes from how you're able to navigate life without that holding you back, but still acknowledging that that part of you is there. If that makes sense to y'all. You know, there's always a state of graduation. We never, this is how life works, y'all. This is spirituality. In your previous life, you did not manifest certain things to come into this lifetime and not continue to graduate with it. Not just your karma, not just your lessons, but your gifts. The gifts the things that you did in your previous lifetimes to manifest certain gifts that you have in this lifetime, you're not here to be content with that gift. You're here to push that bitch to the limit. You're here to maximize that gift. Next lifetime, that's going to evolve into something else stronger that you bring into the next lifetime. So everything is consistent graduation, all right? Don't think healing, healing is an ongoing process, y'all. Healing is an ongoing process. Like I said, Taurus rising, full moon in that 8th house, the demons, they finna be chilling. That's where they at. You can't tell demons to leave the 8th house. Where the fuck you want me to go? 9th house is too much light. That shit too bright. And they don't like niggas like me because I bring the dark side to spirituality. Y'all niggas is all enlightened and shit in that house. I deal with the dark shit. Where else you want me to? The 7th house? You don't want me in your 7th house like that. AKA Venus and Scorpio, AKA Venus in the 8th house, AKA 7th house lord in the 8th house. Do you really want me in your 7th house? So you can't tell the devils and the demons in your shadow to go anywhere else. That's their home, the 8th house. So you need to be spiritually aware to make sure that you have the vulnerability to connect to that shadow, to talk to your shadow, to understand your shadow. That is a part of you. It ain't you ain't manifesting no knowledge of self, but you neglecting your shadow. You just into your lighter self and your higher self. Yeah, higher self this, higher self that. Bitch, what's good with your shadow? What's up with that shadow? What's your wounds? You know, what have you experienced that you're holding on to? These things need to be acknowledged. Because it's only going to block what our higher self can manifest and what our higher self can excel with if we don't understand the shadow side of ourselves. All right, so that's that. Gemini risings. All right, it's 11 o'clock. I motherfucking hate Optimum. I swear to God. I'm running up in Optimum tomorrow. I swear to God. This motherfucking Wi-Fi shit really pissed me off today. Gemini risings. All right, let me get through this. Now, your 1st and 7th house is active as shit. All right. Your 1st and 7th house is active as a motherfucker. All right. So the sun is in your 1st house. So y'all are really inspired and motivated throughout this season, Gemini rising. You know, this is a powerful time for y'all because y'all are able to use the sunlight to bring awareness to how you personally conduct yourself in certain situations, your personal aspirations, things about your personality, good and bad, things about your personal insecurities. You know, the sun pushes you to be action-oriented. So a lot of you Gemini risings may have been real active when it comes to communicating ideals, sharing your ideals. You guys are intelligent as hell. And a lot of people don't be knowing how intelligent y'all are because y'all are not as communicative as the Gemini sun and moon. You guys talk to yourselves a lot because it's the 1st house. So a lot of that communication and Mercury is just y'all talking to your heads the whole time. A lot of Gemini risings be spaced out like a Pisces because They trust me, they talking to somebody in their head. Gemini suns talk to themselves so much that their sun forces them to push it out. This is why Geminis talk so much, because they get overwhelmed with having these conversations in their head. They need to get it out, whether they feel like you listen. This is why Gemini may not care if you listening. This is why Gemini may not care if you listen. It's like, motherfucker, I don't give a fuck. I just need to release this shit. The sun is going to push these thoughts out, whether somebody listens to me or not, because I'm tired of having this conversation with my own self. Gemini moons, all right, you know, they need to do it. The sun is going to want to push it out, but they can have a little bit more control when it comes to talking to themselves and how they conduct themselves in conversation. Gemini moons need to. So may not be as communicative with the sun, but the thing about the Gemini moon, the sun may not care if motherfuckers is listening like that. The sun needs to get it out. The moon needs to have the relationship with somebody who they know is receiving it. You got a Gemini moon partner and you don't know how to listen to their thoughts, or you don't know how to have a reciprocal form of communication with them or acknowledge their thoughts, they gonna be out of here sooner or later. Cause they gonna once their work hubby come around, work wifey come around, and work wifey is just like, you lying. That's what's going on in the home. You telling me she won't listen to your problems, the things you telling me? Yeah, I just feel like, you know, I love her to death. It's just that, you know, we've been through so much, but I just feel like sometimes, you know, all the thoughts I got in my head, all the shit I be thinking about with our family and our children, it just be mentally overwhelming me and shit. And I just feel like sometimes when I try to connect to her for certain solutions or what I think about things, you know, she don't really hear me. Man, the more work wifey keep listening, you serious? Well, listen, this is my number, all right? You know, go ahead, save my number under something else. I don't want your wifey tripping about something. Whenever you need to talk about something, you just let me know, all right? You just communicate to me or something, or if you need to just leave the house, you know, it don't matter any time of the day. Oh, shit. Gemini moon finna be out of here. Because it's an emotional need for them. This is how we decipher the sun and the moon. This is how we decipher sun Geminis, moon Gemini, sun Sagittarius, moon Sagittarius. The moon is internal, so you may not see the communication off rip from the Gemini moon. You may not see the communication off rip. You may not see them pushing it out, because it's not their projection. It's not the sun. The sun in Gemini could have a moon that don't deal with that many thoughts. Their moon could be in an earth sign. Well, let me not say not that many thoughts, but doesn't feel the need to communicate. So a moon in earth sign, they don't feel like they need to communicate to people. Like, you know, they good practicalizing shit on their own. But if the sun is in Gemini, it'll come off like that. It'll come off like they're real communicative. And they're going to be communicative about things dealing with earth shit. All right? But if it's vice versa, if it's an earth sign but they're a Gemini moon, you see their communication blossom when they feel like they have somebody that receives it, and that's an emotional need. If you got children, they're Gemini moon, ask them what's going on in school. Some signs, it don't matter. Your Aries child, your Scorpio child, well, you should be knowing what the fuck going on in your child life, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Some energies is different with dealing with their individuality. Gemini moons, they need this. They need that. So Gemini risings, you guys kind of jump in and out these pockets. It's not necessarily an emotional need, and it's not necessarily the sun. You don't have to push it out so much. It's in your first house. So you hone in on making sure you talking to yourself and you going back and forth with yourself about what you need, what you got going on in your personal life. So this is why I said they could be a little spaced out, like Pisces risings or Pisces sun and moons, because they steady talking to themselves, and they don't feel like they need. They good talking to the motherfucking selves and figuring that shit out themselves. Now, so this is what's going on. The sun lit this house up, the first house. So once again, when it comes to your personality, you know, your personal issues, you're gaining a lot of awareness about this. Personal relationships in your life, new projects that you want to start. This is still a fruitful time. You want to utilize all this energy before the sun go into Cancer or enter your second house right now, Gemini. If you ain't get a chance to initiate and start that thing regardless, especially because Mercury just went back direct a few ago. Mercury just went back direct a few ago. So you have way more clarity with your personal ideas. It may be something you had a personal aspirational goal for. You ain't really have the clarity for it when Mercury is retrograding, because you was revising things, you was getting information, you was probably learning from other people how to do things. You know y'all are the wizards. You know, you and Virgo's Mercury energy, y'all are the wizards of being able to learn from others to mold your own way of doing some shit, right? Mutable energies with Mercury influence. Now, we got the full moon activating your 7th house. So when it comes into your relationships, all right? When it comes into your relationships, full moon in the 7th house, the subconscious energy is fully illuminated here. So not only you may feel like you got some shit to get off your chest to your partner, there's a high potential for your partner to get some shit off their chest. All right? Don't you feel the need to be understood right now, heavy? Well, it really depends what the different energies people have. It really depends, you know. Some people, like an Aries moon, a Scorpio moon, these individuals, Aries moon, Scorpio moon, Mars on your moon, Pluto on the moon, these individuals want to do the deep diving themselves. They're not, and when somebody comes to help, it's just a plus for them, you know. So where was I? Full moon is the 7th house. Relationships is fully activated here. So there's a high potential for your partner to express something that they've been holding in. This is why you, Gemini Rising, you really have to peep game right now. You don't want to be, you know, trying to talk over your partner or having them feel like they're stepping on eggshells or stepping on your toes just to express how they truly feel about things. If they can't express how they truly feel about things, you know, sooner or later, they're going to end up doing what they got to do to feel more understood. So a lot of Gem Risings, y'all are in that position right now. Now, you're also understanding, this is a time right now where you're understanding what's needed to build your relationship up. So there may be things that you're into individually, you know, with the sun in your 1st house, but now the full moon transiting in the 7th house, Gemini Risings, is helping you out to understand, like, okay, I want to do this personally, but I can't act like it don't affect my partner. So I need to, you know, peep game this week, understand how to communicate this to them, help them to understand this, be transparent with what I want to do individually. And this is going to eventually help the 7th house. All right. But we know the full moon deal with detaching and releasing. So it may be certain situations in the 7th house where you may have to fall back a little bit from some friends, from different relationships in your life that are a little bit too heavy on what you want to do personally right now. Once again, Gemini in the 1st house, you may incorporate a little bit too many people into things that you got going on personally, or you may consider the opinion and critique of too many other people before you do things personally. Now, Gemini in the 1st house, Mercury ruling your chart, you're going to be a sponge and you're going to attract so much information, so much plugs, so much connections to do things, but you can't let this overwhelm you with what you want to do personally. So right now the full moon is transiting in the 7th house, so you don't get overwhelmed. You know how to give yourself space at the same time while still considering those who matter. All right. But once again, give yourself the whole week to peep game here. All right. With the full moon in Sagittarius, a lot of Gemini risings are also feeling like this is it. A lot of Gemini risings are feeling like, you know, this relationship, I believe it's expired. I believe it's met its time. All right. It is what it is. And one thing Gemini risings have to understand with Sagittarius in the 7th house, you have to learn how to connect with people who share, you know, common beliefs, you know, that you can relate to with your spirituality. And you guys attract so much options and so much opportunity to connect and date. You guys are very experienced with relationships a lot of times in life because Gemini's in your 1st house. So you got a lot of interaction in your 1st house. Then you got Sagittarius in your 7th house. So you got a lot of shit that you experience in your 7th house. So you can't, if you feel like you're in a space where you allowed yourself to get into a relationship, but you're realizing we don't really share values like that, we're not on the same page about things, you know, this may be a time you're starting to understand, you know, how to detach from these situations. Okay. So it's really a double-edged sword here with the full moon transit in the 7th house. Either you're understanding what it takes to make your relationship stronger. A lot of you guys are actually in the state of learning how to join something right now. You know, a lot of y'all are in the state of understanding how to join something, maybe a joint finances with your partner. You guys are getting ready to make an agreement about something that y'all are willing to do together. So you want to just continue to process these things. All right. So This is what's going on with Gemini risings right now. But at the same time, you know, there's strong energies highlighting how your relationships affect what you want to do personally. The full moon ain't the house to get active with. This is the house to understand and peep game. The house that the sun is in is always going to be the house to be active with. The full moon just helps bring understanding how to do that. Damn, I'm sweating like a motherfucker. I'm sweating like Harriet Tubman and the motherfucking Underground Railroad, and somebody just yelled, they here! Go back, y'all. Go back. Go back. Move. They coming. We got to make a new dugout. You feel me? So, yeah, that's a huge relationship revelations to see how it affects your personal issues. All right? And Sagittarius, Gemini rising, you know you can be impulsive with relationship decisions. You know you could be impulsive with relationship decisions. You know you can exaggerate things in relationships at times. Gemini risings. All right? So this is a time to, you know, truly understand how much you truly value this person. Do not let little issues turn into big ones right now with the full moon transit in 7th house. You know damn well you value this person, you love this person, and what they said to you, what they did ain't that serious for you to be acting the way you acting. We could be very, very dramatic right now. All right? Gemini risings. Cancer risings. Yeah, Cancer risings. We got Gemini in the 12th house. Gemini in the 12th house. Sagittarius in the 6th house. So your 12th house and 6th house is fully activated. The sun is transiting your 12th house. So this may have been an isolated time for you guys during Gemini season. Gemini season may have always become an isolated time for you. A time that you reflect. A time where you feel like you need to be in your own space and build a connection with solitude. All right, in some type of shape or form. This is a time, the Gemini season was all about you guys, you know, understanding things, dealing with your spiritual development, you know, understanding things about your mental health, your creative gifts, your imagination. These are all things that the sun has been pushing you to invest in. You know, Gemini in the 12th house, you may have started new collabs with other people from a creative way. You may have gained a lot of new information and awareness on how to do something dealing with your creativity, or somebody may have told other people about your creativity around this time. So if you just started doing hair, you just started building your shit up, you know, you may have had somebody repost you around this time, and now you just got like 6 new clients off of that shit. You feel me? All type of shit with Gemini in this. When you get active with Gemini in the 12th house, Cancer rising, you're going to see when you start diving into your imagination and trying to connect it into the physical realm, Gemini gets so active in making sure other people gets connected to your imagination, to your creativity. So a lot of y'all have been highly motivated and inspired to invest in these things because you feel the potential of how much people you can rally up or connect your creativity, your insight with, your belief system with in some type of shape or form. But it definitely has been a lot of things dealing with. Yo, Omni, what's good, brother? But it still may have been a lot of things dealing with you being isolated from a sense and still reflecting on things. So now we got the full moon in your 6th house. So this is what's going on here. With the 6th house fully activated, your emotions and the subconscious of things and what's been buried about your 6th house issues, they all the way to the surface now. So things that's frustrating you, bothering you, dealing with the workplace, co-workers, bosses, managers, your schedule, your mental health, your regiment, your day-to-day routine. This is the time you're like, all right, something got to give. I can't keep working these hours. I can't keep getting my boss ain't finna keep doing this to me. Oh shit, and then you're a Cancer rising. Oh shit, Sagittarius oh yeah, I'm bugging. Sagittarius in the 6th house. So y'all be going through it at times with Sagittarius in the 6th house because y'all really like more of a free-spirited schedule. So when you don't manifest situations where you can move, because Sagittarius and Gemini deal with movement, traveling. When you don't have situations where you can move in the 6th house, you can't move. You can't work from home when you want to work from home. You can't take vacation off how you want to take it. That shit get frustrating with Sagittarius in the motherfucking 6th house. And y'all gonna develop a lot of experiences to learn how to fit something that you have wisdom about or experience about into your 6th house, so you're not confined. This is what Sagittarius is constantly teaching you, Cancer risings. All right, constantly teaching Cancer risings, whether it's through conversation, somebody telling you this, whether it's your own coworker telling you, girl, why are you here? bro, why are you even here? You know how to do this and the third. You better go start your own business. You Cancer risings are going to constantly manifest this with Sagittarius in the 6th house, because Sagittarius does not like restriction and confinement. It needs to feel free where it's at. And the 6th house deals with regiment. It deals with shit being on time. It deals with daily routine. It deals with things being in order. This is why these people, Cancer risings, a lot of time can excel with things dealing with mental health, dealing with you know, the physical body health overall, dealing with you know your diet regimen, physical training. This is why they can excel here, because Sagittarius becomes an extreme student of these themes in the 2nd house, right? But essentially, this is what Sagittarius is trying to do here. It's trying to create more of a free spirited schedule, day-to-day routine for you, so you don't feel like your 6th house overwhelms you. This is what's being picked up on right now with the full moon in the 6th house. Best believe some of your co-workers, some of your bosses, managers, they finna act a fool probably the week before or this upcoming week. They finna act a fool a little bit. And this is essentially pushing you guys to invest in some of the things that you need that you're gaining awareness about when it comes to your own creative gifts and your imagination, with the sun transiting the 12th house. A lot of you guys may have been feel like you need to take some hours off, take some time off to reflect on because you've been dealing with so much 12th house energies. So it may be a lot of things you feel like you need to process, and being at work and whatnot, that shit ain't cutting it. It ain't helping you to have that sense of solitude, you know. So this is why you guys may have been cutting off, going out in the weekend with your friends. Even though that may have been like a form of release, maybe little things that you usually do that you haven't been doing with the sun in the 12th house, because you want to be in more of an isolated space to help understand what's going on in your life right now, you know. So with the full moon transiting the 6th house, we need to see what is restricting us from truly building up this 6th house the way we want to. What is restricting you, Cancer rising, from taking something in your 12th house and adding it into your 6th house? Now, this doesn't have to be as extreme as career. Not all of you guys have issues with your job or career. It may be something that you want to creatively add into your routine and schedule, because the 12th house has a whole lot to do with imagination and potential. So let's say you have a potential to get in better shape. This is something you daydream about. Like, damn, like, I just know I could manifest that body, or I know I could just this, that, and the third. Right now, you're going to be, what's in your schedule, what's a part of your daily routine that's keeping you away from manifesting that potential, this is going to be intense for you right now. And you're going to feel like you need to make a lot of changes in your life. You know, you may feel like you need to change your work schedule, you know, go into work a little later so you can actually go to the gym 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and then you still get to work, and now you don't have to overwhelm yourself with going to the gym after work, because you know work be making you tired and shit. Like shit like that you guys are going to have to be tweaking in order to reach any state of potential in the 12th house that your sun has been helping you see. So this could be your creativity, creative endeavors. This could be things dealing with healing. Your sun in the 12th house may have highlighted some things that you need to heal, or things that you need to patch up with your subconscious. And you know that if you add extra meditation, if you add 4 days of yoga, if you add a healthier diet, if I add these things into my daily routine, I know it's going to help heal. I know it's going to help me deal with my subconscious. These are the things that you're going to have to look at the 6th house to see, what do I need to take out in order to create the space for me to do this. So by the time you get to the new moon in Cancer, you know, I'm good. I'm not still dealing with a heavy work schedule, a heavy regimen or routine to the point I can't add the things that I see the potential with, or have within my imagination to add into this 6th house. All right. So once again, it may not be a huge career change for a lot of you guys. It may be a career change. Why? Because Saturn retrograde is hitting this motherfucker. So Saturn retrograde is hitting this bitch right now, coming out what, the 8th house? Yup, coming out your 8th house. So it may be certain things that you're passionate about that Saturn wants to build, and it's like, man, listen, we got to get that shit up out the 6th house so we can learn how to build what we want to build through our day-to-day routine in the 6th house. All right, but obviously this is a time for you guys not to take anything with not to underestimate anything going on with your health and your mental health. This is not the time for that. You know, you got something wrong with your body, you feel like you need a fast, you need a detox, and and you've been dealing with some shit the week before, it's been intensifying a bit, and you acting like it's not an issue. The full moon probably gonna make it an issue that you can't neglect right now. So I don't need to hear none of my soul tribe in the hospital for no bullshit. You know, I don't need to hear none of that shit. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. You know, if you know there's things that need to be structured within your sixth house to have more of a healthier lifestyle, you make the sacrifice to do that. You cut off what you need to cut off to do that. You know, you got a heavy ass work schedule, and then you got a social circle that's always dragging you into things. You got Gemini in the 12th house. You probably be getting peer pressure, and motherfucker, you start feeling bad when you say nah to other people to join different festivities. No, take your time. Take the time off for what you need to take off so we can get the sixth house in order, and it could open up opportunities for a lot of the things you've been paying attention to and you've been highly inspired to manifest in your 12th house. Like I said, the 12th house is broad, it's our imagination, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a career change. Even though it is a lot for a lot of you guys, even though there's going to be strong signs this week to make this transition from this job that you're working on and start seeking another environment or start creating a new environment, a new work environment for yourself. All right. Whenever the full moon is trans in the sixth house, that is something that's very likely here. People start, you know, realizing that where they're at now, and remember, you know, Neptune is in the mix right now. So it's blurry, y'all. So you're not going to necessarily see how to do this. But you're going to pick up on the emotion that it needs to be done. Once you acknowledge what needs to be done, then universe is going to start walking you to where you need to go and how to do things and put certain people, places, and things, commercials, influencers, conversations in your life so you can gain what you need to gain so you can start actually planning accordingly. But if there's no acknowledgement when it comes to the emotion or the awareness we pick up on, then we have to stay with that energy until we fully acknowledge it, and then it starts rolling into new moon cycles, and now it's a new moon, it's time to set new intentions, and we're still doing shit from the past. So this is what y'all got to keep in mind right now. All right, my Cancer risings. Okay, now and Neptune is also hitting the full moon in the sixth house, so y'all need to have more belief and faith as to how things can manifest over time. Don't be stressing yourself as far as, damn, how much time is this going to take once I add it into my day-to-day routine? You know, what is it going to take away from? You know, am I going to be able to maintain this and uphold it? Man, if Neptune is over there screaming to y'all better utilize me. Y'all better utilize some faith and belief in what you can manifest in your sixth house and in your life period with a certain intent, with an intentional sixth house, with an intentional day-to-day routine, with an intentional schedule. You know, Neptune is giving us Neptune is pushing us. It's a friction because it's a square, but essentially it's pushing us to invest into things with more faith and belief, to help us to believe we can bring transformation into these areas. All right. So that's Cancer rising. Leo rising. Leo rising, we got the full moon in the 11th. We have the sun in the 11th house. All right. And we got the full moon in the 5th house. All right. Damn, bro. A lot of this shit applies to me. Once again, this is applying to sun and rising signs. This is sun and rising signs. So that was for my Cancer suns. Cancer suns may have felt some of that, but definitely applying for my Cancer risings. This motherfucker's so smooth. Pharrell's a bad boy. Now, listen. 11th house, sun in the 11th house. 11th house, community, the outside world, social media, communication, technology, spirituality, astrology, tarot, groupings, business partnerships, associates. This is the awareness you've been gaining, Leo risings. You may have been very active out in the world. You may have been active building new relationships to help you build things with stability and security. You may have been, your mind may have been, the 11th house deal with abstract thought. This is the house Aquarius comes out of. So you guys may have been expanding your minds on new spiritual concepts or just bringing new understanding into your lives, dealing with things with your communities, groups you may be a part of, business partnerships you may be a part of. So it may have been new business partnerships that you may have started, new collaborations you may have started, new ideas to start this podcast or to actually start this community or to invest, become a part of this community or group. You may have, got a new membership somewhere, new membership to this community, new membership into the gym. The gym would be like an 11th house thing. This is something you go and there's a bunch of strangers. You don't know nobody there, but you can always make connections there. That's like an 11th house thing. All right. So this is the emphasis here, right? But this is an air house, and you got Gemini in this house, so it may have been a very active time, a very social time, very interactive time. Now we got the full moon transit in your 5th house. So when it comes to your ability to deal with creative self-expression, these things are fully illuminated right now. Things that you've kept buried, or things that were just in the subconscious. These things are really you're really aware of these things, situations dealing with your creative self-expression, dealing with how you like to have fun, how you socialize, and your children. You know, not just connecting to the childlike in you, but the actual your actual connection with your children. So it may be certain things coming into a completion for your children. Some of y'all children just graduated 5th grade. Your child just graduated middle school and shit. You know, maybe some completions coming with them. All right. Some of y'all, maybe your child may have just graduated, period. And anything. When it comes to how you deal with your self-expression, though, how you deal with your creative expression, though, the full moon transit in this house, you know, this is a time where you start to see what's restricting you from how you like to have fun and deal with entertainment in your life. You know, the sun in the 11th house is dealing with how you connect with others in the outside realm. So right now we're trying to see how can you restrict what is restricting you. What is restricting you from how you take creative expression, your creative abilities, and connecting it out in the 11th house? Around this time, you guys may have made a lot of fruitful connections and created a lot of new ideas to do things with other people, or to simply connect your creativity out into the world, even if it's just you by yourself. So now the full moon in the 5th house is making sure we acknowledge any restriction, any limitation that's holding us back from doing that. All right. It may be certain issues you have to make sure you handle with your child right now. You know, your child got some motherfucking, you know, some of y'all might be running around for your child's prom and shit, or your child got some shit, they got appointments that they got to make with the doctor. All type of shit happen with children if you got children around this time, full moon transit in your 5th house. All right. But when it comes to the childlike energy within you, is any of this shit suppressed that should be connected out into the public? And speaking about public speaking, being on the stage, expressing yourself, this is all big 5th house energy. So there may have been, with the sun transit in the 11th house, it may have been a lot of new ideas about something you want to give insight and awareness to within a group or community that you're a part of, or simply through social media, or simply through communicating to others, or simply something you want to circulate dealing with spirituality. All right. So we want to make sure, now that we have this new awareness with the sun in Gemini this season, new awareness about associations we're a part of, our friendships, that we're not allowing these things. We're not allowing how we like to have fun, or, you know, situations dealing with our children. We want to find the balance right here. Okay. You know, 11th house has more of a business aspect on how you interact with others. The 5th house is also somewhat of a social house too, but it's more so dealing with the sun energy. So creative energy and how you like to have fun. We have to have the balance right here. And a lot of the times this energy can inspire you to take something that you're creatively invested in, or something that you like to have fun with. You know, you guys are starting to realize what it is you can connect to the 11th house. So once again, an example here, you may be a part of a certain community, you may be part of a spiritual community or some shit, I don't know. And you just now realizing, you know, I could actually, you know, start expressing to them this shit that I know about, you know, tarot or whatnot. Because this is something that I have awareness about. This is something that I feel like, you know, I could express. I could put in the stage, I could bring awareness to for others. So you'll start feeling the need to take some of these things and move it into the 11th house and bring it into that community, bring it into that group. All right. And any wounds and not really insecure. Well, yeah, any insecurities dealing with wounds, traumas, dealing with connecting to your inner child. These things are lifted up. These things are at the surface right now. So a lot of y'all starting to realize, like, yo, I don't treat myself as much as I should, or I'm not as invested into my creativity and my pastimes as much as I should. You know, I don't be connecting to my hobbies and shit as much as I should. I don't spend time with my children as much as I should. All right. So these are all strong emphasis with the full moon and transit in the 5th house. Saturn retrograde is harmonizing with that full moon in the 5th house. So it got more of a practice, it's pushing you to have more of a practical outlook on how you use your creative gifts, how you use your creativity, how you use your artistic edge in life.
you know, and eventually that's going to open up opportunities for what could be connected in the 11th house to help you connect to more soul tribe. 11th house has a huge influence on soul tribe. So when you got the sun transiting here, you may have started to develop a disconnection with certain people you associate yourself with because you feel like it's blocking you from making more fruitful connections in your life. The full moon transit in the 5th house is helping you realize this, right? Because there's a connection with both axes right here, Leo risings. All right. And then Neptune is also hitting this house. So if there's any creative pursuits, anything you wanted to be on the stage with, anything that you wanted to express, you wanted to be seen for, you wanted to give your awareness and insight with, Neptune is helping you to place more belief into that right now. You know, helping you place more belief and be more understanding in yourself. You know, have more faith in yourself, how you deal with any type of creative endeavor, and helping you to understand, yes, people in the 11th house will connect to this shit. People will buy your art, you know. People will tune in to hear what you have to say. People will love to learn from you, but you have to push that energy out first. So we need to break down any type of insecurities here. Saturn's helping breaking down any insecurities with creative expression, on top of helping you be more practical and realistic with how to do it. All right. And Neptune is adding more faith and belief in how to do these things. And Neptune really harmonizes with the 5th house. So, you know, if Neptune's hitting the full moon in the 5th house, it's like, listen, man, we way too creative. We got way too much of a spiritual essence. We have way too much wisdom for you not to be on the stage or making sure that you're not exercising, being more expressive about this in your life. All right. So we got that going on. Appreciate Leo. Much love to you. Much love to everybody in the chat. All right. So that's Leo risings. Who we got next? Motherfucking Virgo risings. Virgo risings. Virgo risings, you got the sun transiting your 10th house. So there was a lot of new awareness developed about career, about your social status. You may have started to understand how the world sees you in some type of shape or form. So you starting to understand how to use your reputation to benefit you during Gemini season. It's like, okay, motherfuckers know I could do hair. Let me really brand that shit. Let me trademark it. Let me come up with my own brand. Let me get my own product, my own little hair oil or whatnot. You starting to understand how people, you're seeing true colors in career. You're seeing true colors in career. All right, around this time. You know, you saying how your coworkers really feel about you. You saying how people that you work with or build, you may be, you know, a part of certain business partnerships. You're starting to see how they really move. Like, damn, these niggas really be greedy. This, that, and the third. A lot of true colors come to the light with the sun transit in the 10th house, with things with dealing with making money and career for my Virgo risings with Gemini in the 10th house. Now, all Virgo risings got to understand. Remember, the cardinal houses. These are the most important houses. 1st, 4th, 7th, 10th house. Most important houses in our chart. Whether you got planets in them or not. The ascendant, the IC, the descendant, the midheaven. All of these energies have to learn from each other. All right? The ascendant has to learn how to build itself up personally through the descendant a lot of the times, through the relationships. Vice versa. Relationships be teaching us a whole lot about our ascendant. And then when we look at the midheaven deal with career. So what we manifest in career a lot of the times is going to reflect the home. So how the fuck do you build a home without finances? All right, they're going to play a part, you know. Or how do you even get to assert yourself with career and how you blossom with what you want to be known for, the brand or business you're trying to develop in the 10th house. If your 4th house ain't right, your emotional stability ain't right, your emotional well-being ain't right. You could barely function in the 10th house at times, you know. So these houses are the most important houses, guys. So for when it comes to Virgo risings, you guys even having Gemini in the 10th house, this pushes y'all. Virgo risings, a lot of y'all are shy. I know a lot of y'all are shy. A lot of y'all are pretty introverted. You know, take a Virgo rising out on the date. They say motherfucking short answers for every question you answer. You're like, God damn, she making it hard for me right now. I usually don't have this problem. I'm an air sign. I could keep conversation going, but damn. So tell me about yourself. Like, shit, you know, I be chilling. All right, okay. All right, you got any spiritual beliefs? Like, no, I mean, I believe in God. Okay, all right. So how was your last relationship? I mean, you know, it's cool. It ended. Okay, yeah, I figured that. I figured it ended. Okay, all right. Virgo rising ain't gonna give you that much. Virgo rising ain't gonna give you that much because they low-key interviewing you. You asking all these questions, they see how you react to shit. They looking at the freckles, how much freckles you got on your left side of your cheek in comparison to your right side of the cheek. Like, I don't like that. You got too many freckles on the right side. Why is that shit not symmetrical? I'm about to Google how many freckles, like Virgo rising be. They finna read your ass personally. There's Mercury in the first house. It's Virgo in the first house. They finna analyze the structure and stability you got in your own personal life and with your personal appearance and how you personally express yourself. So they finna read this more than before they open up personally. Once they get a good grasp on who you is personally, now you finna see a whole new person. It might throw you off guard. You might take Virgo on 3 dates. First date, second date, what was it saying? A goddamn word. Third date, they just so open out of nowhere. Mad open out of nowhere, mad communicative. Like, okay, yeah, the Virgo rising, they felt like they interviewed. The interview process is over. They feel like they could communicate, be more open about what they got going on personally now. They start answering your questions that you asked on the first date more in depth now. Yeah, my last relationship, this, that, and the third, this, that, and the third, this, that. You're like, shit, the first day you got a short answer for that. Where does new energy come from? But what happens here? Gemini in the 10th house. This shows that all Virgo risings, you can have that shy, introverted ass personality all you want. When you get up into career, your ass finna communicate. You finna learn how to do that, Virgo rising. You finna learn how to network. You finna learn how to take your gifts and abilities to structure in this personal house. All this intelligence you have, this natural intelligence you have about things dealing with health and the body and your mental health, you finna learn how to circulate that and communicate that in the 10th house. You can't keep all that to yourself. You can't keep all that to yourself, Virgo rising. You finna learn how to circulate that, Gemini in the 10th house. All right? So this is why a lot of Virgo risings attract people that always need to come to them for something, because y'all already give off that sense of knowledge and being informative, you know, based off y'all 10th house a lot of the times, you know, just based off the fact we see you as somebody that has ideas, that has different perspectives on things. So overall, the sun in the 10th house has been going through a lot of different things, dealing with transformation, not transformation per se, but a lot of new awareness being developed with things with career and how you make money and stability. Now the full moon is transiting into the 4th house. A lot of you guys, things are coming to an end, or certain phases are completing itself when it comes into the home. A lot of you guys may be moving. A lot of you guys may finally have got approved for that home. A lot of you guys may have been certain things dealing with closure is going to go on in the home, whether it was your parents, your children, your loved ones. They're starting to express certain things to you about. They may reveal some shit that you didn't know about. You know, expect, you know, full moon chance in the 4th house. You can expect some revelations coming out the family environment. And you're also starting to see how your 10th house affects your 4th house. So maybe you've been working this shift, this, that, and the third. You don't realize, you know, your children like, mommy, can you take a day off? Like, damn. Your teenager, you got a baby, and then you got 2 teens. They finna tell your ass this week, like, all right, look, Mom, Dad, y'all finna compensate us for this babysitting, because this baby's too much. That's what they finna tell your ass. They finna release some shit on y'all. This baby is too goddamn much. We only 15 and we going through this. Ain't this y'all job? You know, if I was like, motherfucker, I be working. Your mom like, I picked up extra shits here and there. So listen to what your family got to say. Listen to what your children got to say. And ultimately, the 4th house is the home environment, our emotional stability, our relationship with privacy and solitude. Is there anything getting in the way with that? Because the full moon don't play about the 4th house. The full moon is home here. The full moon don't play about this house. So Virgo risings and Taurus, all my earth risings, really. Taurus, Virgo risings, you guys got the full moon transiting in water houses and shit. So you guys are definitely picking up on some heavy emotion around this time, especially dealing with things in the home environment. So we want to find a balance between, is the 10th house overwhelming your 4th house right now? Is career overwhelming your 4th house? Because if it is, then we need to tweak a little bit of things, dealing with your schedule, dealing with how you organize and work on things, so you can be able to go into your 4th house, you know, as you please, you know, regardless from what you're working on. You know, you're able to have that connection to your privacy, to your solitude, or you can make sure your home continues to feel like a home, not just where you sleep at. All right. But yes, there's a lot of new things may be expressed, you know, from your loved ones, you know, from people that you brought into your fourth house, into your home, aka people that you're emotionally connected to. All right, people that emotionally depend on you may have some shit to say, or you may have some shit to get off your chest to them. Okay, Saturn retrograde's hitting this house, so you guys are also in a state where you're not allowing your loved ones or people that you're connected to project on y'all. This is the week that y'all done had it with that. And y'all been feeling it a little bit this week, or it may transpire this week, where you have to let somebody that you love and you care about, you know, you gotta let them know, like, yo, you cannot be throwing your emotions on me, or you cannot be dumping situations on me like this, because it makes me feel very emotionally unstable, and then I can't even function with the things I want to do with my sun in the 10th house, Virgo risings. A lot of you guys may have been, you guys are maybe connecting back into the home in some type of shape or form. Maybe your natives, you know, you live in America, your parents or your natives live somewhere else. They live in another state. They live in another island or some shit. They live in another country. You might be getting ready to go visit them in some type of shape or form. So things coming into a completion in this area, and Neptune is coming into this house. Neptune is squaring this house. So it's kind of forcing you to have to be a bit more compassionate and sensitive to the emotions of others. That doesn't mean you can't tell a loved one about yourself right now, about themselves, Virgo risings. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are, you know, exerting a lot of time and energy, especially this Gemini season, into what's going on in your 10th house. Because we've been having a lot of planets transiting your 10th house, Virgo rising. You know, Mercury retrograde Mercury retrograde is just now getting back into that 10th house, or is more so, depending on how your house system is aligned. Mercury's back in Gemini. So you guys had retrograde energies going in the 10th house. So it may have been a little hard to mentally pay attention or put your mind towards certain things in your life, because you was doing a lot of revision this past month and a half when it comes, you know, to your career, when it comes to how you stabilize and broadcast things. So this may have, you know, neglected some things in the home. You may have even neglected your own motherfucking emotional well-being around this time. You working so goddamn hard, your ass ain't sleeping like that. You don't be seeing your house like that. So you may need to alter some things here with schedule and whatnot. So this is how we find the balance between the stability in the physical realm and your emotional stability. But these houses are active. So anything that's getting in the way of your home environment, how your home feels like a home, or people projecting on you, this, that, and the third, you got to make sure that, you know, we know how to put some space towards these things, or we know how to detach and restrict these things overall, you know, so we could continue to thrive with that sun in the 10th house leading into a motherfucking Cancer season. But always keep in mind, Virgo risings, the moment you start feeling hesitant about taking something that you're gifted with, taking something that you have a personal aspiration for, taking something that you have knowledge and wisdom about, or a brand or business, the moment you start hesitating or you start feeling nervous about connecting it into the world or being seen for it, you're supposed to feel nervous. That's your 10th house is a square. So you're supposed to feel we're supposed to feel a little nervous and reluctant to do things when we're trying to solve squares in our life, when we're trying to solve oppositions. It's not supposed to be easy. But that lets you know you on path, Virgo rising. That lets you know when you start overthinking about how you finna brand your business or when to launch your business, or how that's when you know, okay, I must be in a good space. Because that means I'm actually taking steps in strides towards connecting things out my personal house, which I'm very introverted with, which is real sacred to me, and actually making it a part of how I'm seen and how I'm branded, how I broadcast myself. You know, these are things that, you know, you want to make sure you embrace and take it one day at a time. So that's my Virgo risings. Scorpio risings. No, how the fuck I skip Libra risings? Motherfucker, Libra rising about to be mad at me. Libra risings. So we have the sun in the 9th house and full moon transiting the 3rd house. So your 3rd, 9th house is activated like a mug right now. All right. Sun transit in the 9th house has been giving you guys a lot of what's the name? A lot of what we on Libra risings. A lot of y'all that had spiritual awakenings this Gemini season. A lot of y'all that had spiritual awakening, somebody stopped you in the street and read you like, yo, excuse me, sorry, don't mean to bother you, but you have a huge aura. Yes, you have a huge aura, and I have a message to deliver for you. This, that, and the third, this, that, and the third, this, that, and the third. You're like, oh shit, damn, who the fuck is this stranger? to me. Who are you? And at the end of the shit, like, okay, if you want me to continue, here's my Cash App. How you gonna just throw my spiritual path in my face like that and then ask me for a Cash App at the end? But you know, I'm gonna send this motherfucker $10. Keep going. What's your contact? So a lot of y'all been invested into things dealing with y'all spiritual development, y'all spiritual path. A lot of y'all may have traveled a lot. Once again, third, ninth house axis deal with travel, moving. All right, a lot of y'all may be preparing to travel around this time. You know, we know that this house also deal with education. This house also deal with education. So, you know, you guys may have been real inclined to learn new things around this time. Now the full moon is transiting your third house. All right. So the third house, once again, is the local surrounding. Ninth house, expanded environment. Third house, local surroundings. So this may have been a time where, well, right now you guys are, and all third house things are coming up to the surface. It's fully illuminated. So situations with friendships, your friend may have did some shit this previous week, or it may transpire throughout this upcoming week. You see a true color from somebody that you're close to. One of your friends or some shit, your siblings, something about your environment, your neighbors, the connect or the disconnect with relationships. These are all situations. Random what to do when you like placements in the element, because the only earth placement I have is north. Okay, you know. So, well, by default, just to answer your question, random as fuck, but can you do a video on what to do when you're lacking placements in an element? Because the only earth placement I have is a North Node in Virgo. You know what happens? Life is going to push you to get to learn how to deal with that energy. So I use myself, for example. I don't got no fire in my chart. I do have my sun in a fire house and my moon in a fire house. So this is why I do express myself a little bit more vibrant than the regular air sign or whatnot, or anybody. That's why I'm mad dramatic. This is why I move a lot, use my hands a lot and shit when I talk and shit. But because I lack fire, I may not be as impulsive or get up to do things the way I should at times. So what happens here, if you lack a certain element, you're going to start seeing the imbalance in your life. The imbalance is what's going to push you towards doing something. So you said you like earth energy, right? You like earth energy. So when it comes to your water or whatever other influences you have, you're going to start having phases in your life where you start realizing like, damn, I don't establish or ground my thoughts or my fire energy. I don't take my creativity and ground it and put time into it. Or my water energy, I don't take time, to process my emotions or understand how to stabilize them. You're going to run into these circumstances. All these circumstances scream, you need more earth. You need to become more grounded. You need to deal with the present more. You need to be more practical. We need to deal with more rational thinking. So whenever you manifest situations in your life, this is universe actually pushing you to use, some earth elements. All right. So our chart is composed of all of these signs. So you may not have no earth placements, but you're going to have earth in certain houses. And these are going to be the houses that are going to be teaching you how to deal with earth. So look at the houses that you have: Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. All right. Right, it's like I have to fight to stay grounded. So I'm assuming you probably have a lot of air and fire in the chart. All right. So you want to look at the houses you have earth signs in. These are the houses that are constantly teaching you how to become more grounded. If you got earth in your relationship houses, your relationships are always teaching you to be in the present. Take your time to think about things when you're connecting with others. You got earth in them fire houses when it comes to your creative expression, your personal inspiration, when it comes to your not personal inspiration, your personal aspirations, when it comes to anything dealing with how you creatively, artistically express yourself, or how you deal with being on the stage and having people give you attention for how you express yourself. These situations are always going to teach you how to place more time into it and be in the present. If you got earth signs in the water houses, when it deals with your subconscious, when it deals with your mental health, when it deals with the emotions, when it deals with how you read others' subconscious, these are things that you need to learn to stabilize yourself with and take time to process these things and actually rationally think about what's affecting your emotions and practical ways to help heal and deal with the emotions. And if you got earth in the earth houses, well, shit, that's a double dose of understanding how to be stable, because you got to be stable in these houses no matter what energy's in them. So if you got the earth signs in these houses, you actually naturally have a knack of understanding what needs to be practicalized in them houses, but you may not be as action oriented because you don't got no planets in these houses. All right. So this is how you need to look at these things. So Libra risings, Yeah, so with the full moon transit in the third house, you're starting to see with all the new awareness you develop with spirituality, with your spiritual development, you know, new things you started learning or exploring around this time. The sun in the ninth house, you finna adventure or explore some shit. Even if it's not traveling or it's not physically moving around, you finna start learning something new or putting your mind towards something new with the full moon transit. I mean, with the sun transiting your ninth house. 9 out of 10 times, a lot of y'all started reading a new book, started paying attention to diving deeper into astrology, started diving deeper into reading your chart, started diving deeper into, you know, experiencing new things, started diving deeper into learning about spirituality. You signed up for that course. You started paying attention to this one content creator that's teaching you about real estate. You started paying attention to this one content creator that teaches how to heal, that deals with holistic health. You put in your mind to learning something with the sun in the ninth house. All right? And with the full moon transiting the third house, now you're starting to see what relationships you may need to restrict or detach from because it won't serve everything that you're gaining in the ninth house. AKA, you know, I made a joke about niggas in the hood being too condensed in the third house, like I was saying, the Taurus risings. So if your friends is all in the hood, you feel me? If all your friends on the block, they don't give a fuck about spirituality and astrology. But right now, you're in a state where what you're paying attention to spiritually and what you're learning is changing your life. You may be real enticed to share this in your third house. Share this with your friends. But you're starting to realize the disconnect. You're starting to realize they don't get on, you're not on the same page with this. They ain't trying to hear about none of that. This is the full moon in the third house letting you know if you continue to allow yourself to be peer pressured or condensed to your third house, the things that we're trying to expand in your ninth house spiritually, educationally, and just from new experiences in your life, if you don't know how to restrict and detach some of these energies that you're familiar with already, the third house deals with what you're familiar with, familiar friends, familiar neighborhood, familiar ways of thinking. You know, you're in a state of breaking these things down. I wanted to say this, goddamn, I wanted to say this because it's very important before I should have gotten to the signs. We are in a time where we have to be open to being broken down right now. I tweeted about this earlier in the week. You know, you can't expect to be built up if you're not willing to be broken down. We're all in a state of being broken down right now. We're all in a state of having to realize, damn, that form of spirituality, I thought that was the end all and be all. There's more to that. You know, this way of thinking about life, there's more to that. I can't be so stuck to this one way of thinking I had. I can't be so stuck to this way that I want universe to manifest this goal. I have to allow myself to be broken down. Whatever universe and God got in the path for me achieving this goal, I cannot try to control how that path looks. I don't know what's in store in that path. I just know I'm on the path. What's the motherfucking girl in the motherfucking the Yellow Brick Road? What's that movie or show? What's that shit? The Yellow Brick Road and the Tin Man. God damn, see, I'm really a Neptunian. Like, I don't even fucking, I'll be forgetting everything. What's the name of that shit, y'all? With the Goldilocks chicks. Is that Goldilocks? I don't think that's Goldilocks. I think Goldilocks is some other shit. The Yellow Brick Road. Somebody put the name of the shit in the comments, please. The Tin Man and the scary lion-ass, head-ass nigga. And they all on this path and shit. Wizard of Oz. God damn it. I was about to say the Oz. I was about to bring up a Netflix show and shit. But the Wizard of Oz. They didn't know what the hell was down that motherfucking path. She ain't know everything. She's bumping into the Tin Man nigga. She bumping into this nigga, that nigga. She don't know what's in the path. She just on the path. You don't know what's on your path. You don't know who God got waiting for you. So when you get to that point of the path, they gonna finna help you take monumental steps in the journey you're walking on. You don't know. You do not fucking know. I don't know. We will never know until we start walking. All right? And if you're going to take every step, trying to control every step, instead of just being vulnerable and free and be like, yo, God, universe, you see me walking, however you want to use me right now, however you need to break me down right now for me to get to this goal, to get to this shit that my spirit is calling for. I'm open. I'm not going to try to control this shit. I'm not finna control it. You know, Steve Harvey said something very wise in this video I posted earlier in the week. If you knew what was on your path, if God revealed what our path looked like every time we wanted to manifest something, 90% of the time, a lot of us would bail out anyways.
Because it's never a smooth, direct walk there. All right? Shit, ups and downs, trials, tribulations, high moments, low moments. Okay? So we have to be able to be broken down right now, guys. All right? In many different facets. All right? So for some of you guys, you may have to be broken down in career right now. You may have to go through some shit in career right now, which is perceived as a low moment to help you get towards the path you're walking on. Some of us have to be broken down in our relationships in some type of shape or form. Some of us have to be broken down with the ways that we think about something. You know, we start realizing this mindset, this concept of something that we were so attached to. We manifest this super friction in an argument with a friend that's trying to teach us some new shit, enlighten us, but we so stuck to the way we think about something. We have to be able to be broken down. You have to be able to be like, damn, bro. As much as I want to debate you, as much as my pride and ego wants to go back and forth because I've been emotionally connected to this way of thinking about life or this concept, I have to be open to understanding I'm a life student. I don't know everything. And you got a point. It hurts some people to do that right there. It hurts some people to do that shit right there. You could have just been like, bro, you got a point when they first told you, but then it turned into an argument. And then by the time the argument keep going, there's a point in the argument where you realize, damn, I'm wrong. But since the argument is so intense, now it's an ego thing. Now I was like, damn, I can't bail out now. I swear, we're some funny human beings. We're funny. We're funny people. We're funny creatures. I swear to God. All right, guys. So I'm telling y'all, if the more open you are to being broken down, the more God is gonna be able to use you. God can't use no stubborn motherfucker. God don't got time for stubborn people. God don't got time for people trying to control how things should be happening in life. God got other people to work. God gonna spend his time working on other people. You feel me? God gonna come back to you once you open. And this is why you will take a lot. This is why you can spend years, months, whatever, in the same fucking place, walking in circles, thinking you going somewhere because you're not open. You think you got it all on your own. You think you understand everything, how everything is supposed to transpire. You think you could see tomorrow every today, you know? So this is something we all got to understand right now, all right? And Saturn retrograde is breaking motherfuckers down. Saturn retrograde is breaking motherfuckers down right now. And if you thought it was a game, wait until Neptune goes. Wait until Neptune goes retrograde in a couple of weeks. See if we don't have to break down certain concepts of ways we thought about things. See if Neptune retrograde ain't finna put you into a extreme situation for you to develop a new philosophy about something. You so stuck into how your relationship philosophies are, then when you got into a relationship with somebody who it could have turned into something harmonious, but you so stuck into how you want relationships to be, you can't be broken down and have humility dealing with somebody to build on the beautiful potential that you guys really have. See if Neptune don't create an extreme situation in that relationship for you to have to get out that relationship and have to be forced to develop a new philosophy, a new belief system when it comes to dealing with relationships and connecting to people. Every experience you walk into in life, you have to know there's something new to learn. Whether it's a new relationship, a new job opportunity, a new collaborative effort you start, a new place, a new environment you moved into. There's always going to be a bunch of, you're there for a reason. You're in this relationship for a reason. You're in this career for a reason. All of that shit got something to teach you. Life is a learning experience. Don't get sidetracked by all the other shit we doing down here. You know? It's a beautiful thing making money off your creative efforts. It's a beautiful thing experiencing harmonious connection with others, this and the third. But there's a learning experience in everything, whether there's a high moment or a low moment. We want to stay right here, though. We want to be able to stay level, though. Not be too high, not be too low. Embrace the highs, but understand we don't stay up here. Embrace the lows. Embrace when you're feeling low. Embrace the darkness. Because you ain't finna stay there all the time, too. We're constantly moving up and down. Constantly. All right? So, yeah, that's what's going on for y'all, motherfucking, that's what's going on for my beloved, Libra risings. Scorpio risings. Scorpio risings.
Okay. We have this. We have what we got. What do we have? We have the 8th house. So we have the sun in Gemini in the 8th house. Gemini. Yeah. We got Gemini in the 8th house. All right. And we got Sag, the full moon, in the 2nd house for you guys. So you guys, Scorpio risings, a lot of you guys been off the scene. You know, haven't really been picking up people calls and texts like that lately. Been probably taking more days off at work. You know, people don't know what's up with you right now, Scorpio risings. They don't know where you at. You know, you usually be at the spot every Friday night. This month you have not been there. They're like, yo, what's up? We usually get drinks this and the third. You feel me? Bartender asking you and your friends, like, yo, what's up? What's with that other girl y'all be coming with? Which one? The Henny on the rocks? Yeah, yeah, what's that other girl you be coming with? Yeah, she's so funny. She always, yeah, where she been at? She ain't been here like about the whole month. Motherfuckers be like this with they bartender. That's how much you be going to the spot. Motherfucker bartender be knowing your drinks. I know Henny on the rocks. I know Casamigos with a little pinch of Lamarita. I already know y'all how y'all girls like to do. The bartender just trying to get close to y'all. That's all they trying to do. But let me stop playing. But yes, this does apply to Libra, Scorpio cusp. If you got any planets on the cusp, when astrologers are doing readings for you, you need to apply it to both of your signs. All right. So when I'm listening to my favorite astrologers and they saying shit about Scorpios, I know that's my reading too. That's my reading too. You feel me? So Scorpio risings, you've been doing some deep diving lately. Everything that really matters is what matters for y'all right now. Because the 8th house is you can't have the sun transit the 8th house. You can't have the sun transit the 8th house. First of all, y'all already got Gemini in the 8th house. Okay, let's start there. Let's start there. You guys have Gemini in the 8th house. So Scorpio risings already have a mysterious way of conducting themselves. Scorpio risings already have a mysterious way of conducting themselves. And it's not on purpose. This is who they are. They just kind of like to be out the way. All right. You know, you guys, it's hard to read you guys personally. And you're going to keep a lot of shit to yourself personally until there's a strong rapport built with people. You know? Some people that date Scorpio rising, they understand that about the partners. Like people that date Scorpio rising and Scorpio moons, Scorpio suns is a little different. Scorpio suns want to be, they want to be seen as mysterious and hidden. The moon and risings, they hidden. The sun and Scorpio, they take action to try to be hidden. They got to put more conscious effort into trying to be hidden and shit. But the sun in Scorpio is hard to be hidden the way the moon is, because the moon, you can't see people's moons. You don't necessarily see people's emotions when you connect to them. You only really see their sun and their rising. So it's hard to hide yourself as a Scorpio sun. This is why most Scorpio suns can be very intense with their communication or how they express anything that they believe in, because they don't have no real filter from it. Like they don't have no filter when it comes to expressing their dark side. Their sun is dark. Their sun itself is dark. But if you're a Scorpio moon, if you're a Scorpio rising, this is a whole different story now. They don't know why they that mysterious. They don't even know. They don't even know why they be trying to do shit to get seen. They like, what the fuck I gotta do to get some attention in this bitch? Like, I actually want the attention now. Like, I actually want people to see this from me. Gotta work so hard just for people to see shit from me. The Scorpio sun could be seen way easier before the Scorpio moon. Scorpio suns get caught with shit way quicker than the Scorpio moon. You may never catch a Scorpio moon with some shit. They want to cheat on you. They could be really good at it. Just being honest with you. They could get away with manipulating you without you realizing it. You know, you realize it very late. You know. Scorpio risings too. You'll be dating a Scorpio rising for 2 years and get out the relationship, and you asking yourself, who the fuck did I just date? I went through all these ups and downs. I still don't know this motherfucker. So it's deep with them. That's how you. I gotta make a video talking about. That might be the one. I gotta do a live on the difference between the sun, moon, rising, like sun, moon, rising Aries, sun, moon, rising Taurus. They're all different. All right. So, of course, Scorpio sun gonna be slick, of course, because that's their nature. It's still their nature. but they may not be as nice with it as the moons though. They may you know, they may do things to expose themselves a lot of the time, because you got to understand, and this is what I'm breaking down with the sun transiting the 8th house. The sun brings light, y'all. This is why Scorpio don't like the sun energy. Scorpio don't like the sun energy. Scorpio don't like light, you know. Think about the square sign. Who's the square sign? Leo. Leo's ruled by the sun. Vice versa. Leo don't like that Scorpio shit. Leos will feel funny being around somebody that's always a little too mysterious, a little bit hard to read. Leos don't like really dating people like that a lot of the time. You know, if a Leo is real cool with somebody being real secretive and hidden about things and not being as expressive, then I'm pretty sure that they have planets in the earth houses. I mean, planets in the water houses, water placements, you know, or they have a strong Mars and Pluto, you know. You're not going. Leo can't deal with that shit. Trying to read you all day. They're naturally expressive. You ain't giving them no expression to read. Hell nah. Or somebody trying to keep a Leo in the dark. Hell nah. You know, you finna post me. The fuck is you talking about? They finna know we dating. So with sun transit in the 8th house, this is why I'm saying a lot of Scorpio rising, they've been out the scene, because the sun is bringing light to their 8th house. The sun is bringing light to the 8th house. You feel me? So when it comes to the demons, when it comes to the dark things, when it comes to, you know, insecurities, when it comes to hidden emotions, you guys have to deal with this. But when it comes to transformation and rebirths, oh, y'all in the midst of one with the sun in the 8th house, because it's going to give you all the tools and everything that you need to be aware of to initiate the transformation in your life. So with the full moon transit in the 2nd house, everything is fully illuminated when it comes into your values right now. And Scorpio rising is developing some new ass values and morals and ethics right now. You know, because they've been in their cocoon processing their mental health, their traumas, the things that have impacted their emotions, the things they're very passionate about, things that they're motivated to set intentions on, and they realize they've been putting it on the back burner. This is what they've been paying attention to all Gemini season. And once again, they got Gemini in the 8th house. So at times, you know, they need that detachment. They need that. Scorpio risers need that motherfucking detachment at times, because they got air signs in their water houses. So they have too much people in their life trying to give them opinion or tell them advice how to deal with their emotions. Scorpio risers all day, every day, Scorpio rising, people trying to tell you how to deal with the emotions. You should go to therapy. You should do this, that, and the third. Or maybe you should do this with your partner. Or you should, motherfucker, do you do that with your partner? Do you go to therapy, bitch? Telling me everything I need to do with my subconscious. God damn, I'm trying to figure it out myself. Shit. So Gemini is just like Scorpio rising sometimes can't even be to themselves in peace. They can't even be mysterious in peace at times. Motherfucking Gemini in the 8th house, because the Gemini house and the Virgo house gonna get critiqued. People are always nosy about these houses. People are always trying to be in the outside looking in, trying to figure out what's going on inside these motherfucking houses. You know? So when the motherfucking therapists and counselors can't even read Scorpio risings. The toughest clients I know. Now that I think about it, I wish I had like a counselor or a therapist I was connected to, so I could ask them about their like, yo, for the next year, get the birth time for all your clients and just look at who is the most open clients. I know the Scorpio moons, the Scorpio rising, these are the hardest motherfuckers to read for counselors, and I just can't get to them. I can't get to them. All right, so my mom is a Scorpio rising. We always suggest therapy. Should be crazy, you know, and that should get annoying to them, because it's like, bitch, I'm doing therapy. I've been doing therapy all my life, the whole time. I watch everybody else have fun, do this, that, and the third. I've been actually focused on my shadow. This is my life. This is my personal life. Scorpio in the 1st house, and let alone have planets in the 8th house. So yeah, a lot of funny shit go on with Gemini in the 8th house, and a lot of transformation takes place in your life. A lot of extreme transformation takes place in your life due to friends, your relationships, shit going on in your neighborhood, because Gemini brings some of that neighborhood influence and that adolescent state. A lot of extreme shit happened with early friendships and early friends. You had a best friend in fucking since kindergarten all the way up until 6th, 7th grade. They did some real shiesty shit. You know, they had sex with the person you lost your virginity with. You like, yo, wow, you was my best friend since kindergarten. Like, it be deep. It be deep. It be deep. Shout out to all my Scorpio risings. So with the sun transit in the 8th house, this is everything that all the things you've been paying attention to, right? Traumas, wounds, passions, neglected passions and goals. This is very goal-oriented house, and motherfucking get into the bread. That's another thing. A lot of Scorpio risings, they blocking off a lot of people to make sure their finances is straight, so they have the attention and they're able to put their, because Scorpio risings, I don't want to say they can't juggle too much, but fixed signs don't like juggling too much, you know? So being a Scorpio rising, Gemini in the 8th house, it starts getting a little out of hand with so much different thoughts, critiques, relationship situations in this house, to the point they'll get very isolated so they could process their fucking 8th house. All right. So must be conflicting with a Leo sun. Yes, it is conflicting being a Leo, having Leo placements and Scorpio placements. So when you have the sun here, you know, the sun is just helping you to pay attention to how to lift all these things up. But it's also helping you to understand, a lot of them will block a lot of things out so they can have that focused concentration on what they're trying to stay fixed on. So this is the bag a lot of Scorpio rising's been on, but now the full moon is transiting in the 2nd house. The full moon loves, the moon period loves the 2nd house. All right. So this is another axis that's dealing with a lot of things with money and finances, you know, for my Scorpio risings. There's a lot of transformation taking place right now, possibly with things dealing with career, things with how you make money. Might be waiting for some people to give you some motherfucking money. There's a lot of people probably owe Scorpio risings bread right now. You guys are understanding how to lift up debts right now, or you will be coming across information, whether it was this past week or this upcoming week, to understand how to lift up situations that may have been a burden in your 2nd house. It may be something you want to invest in, but you got this debt here, you got to clear motherfucking student loans here, motherfucking this, that, and the third. All right. So you want to make sure, you know, when it comes to the full moon transit in your 2nd house, Scorpio risings, the full moon don't play about the 2nd house. So it's finna bring a huge amount of awareness when it comes to your value system. You've been valuing negative things, Scorpio rising. These negative things you've been valuing, person, place, or thing, these are the things that we want to slowly start to detach from and restrict in order to enhance what is it that you've been paying attention to with your sun in the 8th house. Passions, goals, new ways to make money, new ways to heal, new ways to treat the subconscious and your mental health in some type of shape or form. Ring light is killing me right now. You know, these are the things that you're going to be able to, you know, expand in some type of shape or form. But it comes down to making sure during this full moon transit in the 2nd house, all the things that are of negative value, we got to make space. We got to restrict these things. We got to start moving away from these things. All right. Because there's a lot of things you're very motivated about right now, Scorpio rising. Highly motivated, a lot of you guys, you know. Neptune is pushing y'all to have belief that y'all can initiate this form of rebirth in your life, this form of transformation in your life. And then Saturn retrograde is hitting the sun in the 8th house to let y'all know, you know, all we got to do is be more practical and take more time into the healing process. All we got to do is be more practical and take more time into how we're going to structure things dealing with our passions and our goals. Over time, things are going to transform. You know, so all my Scorpio risings, y'all need to stay in your focused bag. Y'all need to stay in your concentrated bag right now. You know, a lot of y'all, it ain't no mystery right now, even though things could still be a little blurry at the moment. It ain't really no mystery as to what you've been putting time into that holds you back from making more money. What you've been putting time into that's holding you back from excelling with your business and stability. And if you didn't pay it, if you wasn't picking up on that in the past week and a half, past 2 weeks, you're best to pick up. You're going to pick up on it this week with the full moon chance in your 2nd house, because the full moon don't play about the 2nd house. It don't play here. This is his spot. So the full 2nd house deal with stability, security, finances, values, and, you know, materialism. So when it comes to what you're passionate about in the 8th house, you're looking at all the things you may have been putting time into. You're looking at superficial habits you may have had. You're looking at poor money management, or how you may not be utilizing the finances you have in the right way. You're developing more wisdom or evolved outlook on when it comes to how you invest your finances and whatnot. So that's Scorpio rising all day, every day in a nutshell right now. All right. Let me try to speed this up because I really don't want to do 2 lies, and I feel like IG might kick me off any second now. Sag rising. All right. Yeah, Sag rising. Yeah, Sag rising. Y'all are part of the stars of the show right now. Sag rising. All right. You guys are dealing with intense emotion right now. Highly inspired. We know Sag rising. This is one of the most optimistic, positive placements in the chart that you can have in the zodiac. These are very uplifting type of personalities. A lot of people like to be around their aura because of their positive outlook. A lot of people be doing things with one person that's negative, and that Sag moon or rising, that's the person they want to come along because they know they're gonna lift up the vibe dealing with this other negative motherfucker. But we need this negative motherfucker to be on the journey with us for whatever we doing. So relationships, Gemini in the 7th house. Gemini in the 7th house. So whether there's a Gemini rising or Sagittarius rising, once again, this both of these axes deal with a lot of opportunity to experience in relationships. These people will be relationship gurus by the time they turn 21. By the time they turn 21, they got stories. They got stories. And I ain't just talking intimate relationships. They finna school you about relationships in their family. They finna school you about relationships with your friends. Motherfucker 21 years old talking to you like an old head. Like, you see that friend? That friend ain't no good. I'm telling you right now. Dude, you ain't got to ask me why. I'm just letting you know that friend right there ain't no good. It's like, first of all, stop talking like that. You're 22 years old. All right? You stop talking like that. Stop giving the old head accent and shit. I'm just saying now. A lot of them be very experienced relationships, highs and lows. And when we look at Sagittarius, Gemini in the 7th house, this is why a lot of Sagittarius risings, they manifest a lot of connections in their life. A lot of fire risings, period. But a lot of Gemini risings will manifest a lot of connections in their life. Because, with Gemini in the 7th house, Gemini represent, different faces and places. So you put that shit in the 7th house, which is an air house. Sagittarius rising date an Indian. Sagittarius rising date a black people, date a white person. Date a Muslim. Date a Christian. They flexible in relationships. They flexible. All right. And you're always going to have access to gain new information, new insight about things from people in that 7th house. Okay. So, with the sun transit in your 7th house, obviously it's been a new awareness this whole Gemini season dealing with relationships and people in your lives. All right. Especially with your partner, especially about your dating life. If you single, you may have felt like you needed to go out and mingle a bit more this Gemini season. You may have actually got pulled into a lot of... You possibly didn't even have to put that much effort into initiating being more interactive around this time. You may have just manifested so much friends, co-workers inviting you places, going to different places, different events. People trying to holler. People trying to holler for $1, at the spot. You're like, damn, this is my first time coming out in the spring. Motherfuckers is on me. That's the problem with them Sag Gemini risings, though. That's the problem with y'all, though. Either y'all experience too much in relationships to the point is like, all right, I want somebody I really connect with, and then it becomes a hard time finding that because you didn't experience so much, and you may have too high of a standard. Or some of y'all get into that first intimate relationship that pulled on some real emotion, and Gemini Sagittarius are 2 signs that don't like heavy emotion. They don't like that shit. So they'll run from something serious. It'll be that sometimes it's one or the other there. Either way too experienced with relationships that is like, you know what, I need to actually be celibate, or I actually need to like not date for a little minute so I could just, find a way to settle these high ass standards and things that I look for in a partner and just find somebody to naturally resonate with. Or it's like after that heavy ass relationship, that first heavy ass relationship I was in, it's like, I'm good. I'm good on the serious ass relationships and shit. We need to continue to keep this shit light in this axis. And that ain't really doing no good because you don't control the day you go outside and fall in love. You don't control the day you go outside and bump into a soulmate. You bump into a flame. And now it don't matter what you want. It don't matter what you want. You attracted something that's gonna pull on some emotion. So it's like either they run from it or they just too active in the motherfucking relationship world, you know? And that sun in the 7th house, yes, it's just been highlighting things, dealing with your relationships, dealing with your relationship experience. You know, all those things I kind of just said with how you look at your relationship experience to see where you're at now relationship-wise. Now the full moon is transiting the 1st house. So all the things you've been paying attention to in relationships, or all the true colors you've been seeing from your partner and your friends or co-workers, you know, close-knit relationships, whatever in your life. Now the full moon is transiting the 1st house, and it's like, okay, how do any of these relationships hold us back from prospering and thriving personally? Is this new person I'm dealing with supportive, and do they relate and align with things I got personally, or do I or do I feel like I can't fully express myself personally when it comes into relationships? That's a red flag to be looking out for right now. That'll let you know right now this person you just met during Gemini season, that was just for fun. If you feeling like you can't personally express yourself in your relationship right now, that's another reason why a lot of y'all's finna leave y'all relationship right now, because you just feel like both of these signs need to be able to express themselves in relationships. Both of these signs, they need to be able to have that interaction in relationships, you know. And Sagittarius in the 7th house, Sagittarius is a student and brings philosophy and spirituality wherever it's at. So if they feel like they can't connect from a spiritual perspective or whatever religion, philosophy that they're into, yes, they're a bit flexible here, but when they dive into their established form of spirituality, that has to be able to be connected, or there's going to be a huge disconnect here. So that's what's going on with the full moon transit in the 1st house. The full moon is fully illuminating everything that you may suppress with your personality and your individuality due to a relationship. So we had the sun transit in the 7th house, so you've been paying attention to the true colors of your relationships and people that you surround yourself with. But then when it gets into your personality, now that the full moon transit in the 1st house and the sun is getting ready to move into Cancer, now you're like, okay, damn, I realize this relationship, that relationship make me do this shit personally that I really don't be wanting to do, or have these personal habits that I have. I realize this relationship suppresses this. I realize this relationship make me feel free. You realizing all these things about how the people in your life affect how you personally conduct yourself right now. All right, so that's simply what's going on with my Gemini Sagittarius risings. Capricorn risings. All right, we got the sun in the 6th house. Yes, we got the sun in the 6th house, Gemini in the 6th house, and we got the full moon transit in the 12th house. So your 12th house is fully active right now. So for one, with the sun transit in the 6th house, Gemini in the 6th house, y'all be dealing with a whole lot of interaction in the workplace. A lot of motherfuckers distracting y'all when y'all trying to do y'all task at the workplace, or people throwing the shit at you that needs real concentration. You the one that take up all them tasks in the workplace, you know, shit that you really got to put your mind to. But y'all are very flexible in the workplace. It's just that, you know, getting stable sometimes with your schedule is very hard at times. You have a lot of ideas and things that you want to work on in the 6th house. A lot of things you want to implement on how to build your 6th house. You know, you're going to be very studious about the 6th house. So you're going to be able to be pretty detail oriented when it comes to things dealing with your health, dealing with your mental health, dealing with your routine. It's just that getting that shit stabilized, that shit's going to be that shit is hard at times. This is a square, but good thing Gemini has a Mercury influence, which Mercury is home here. So it does bring the influence to be analytical about your 6th house. It's just that you deal with so much people in this house that people be distracting how you want to build a certain schedule and routine and regimen in your life. So Capricorn risings, with this alignment, you've been noticing how relationships affect your 6th house. You've been noticing relationships outside of your relationships in your life, how they affect your day-to-day routine and what you want to schedule and regimen, how you make money, and on top of relationships in the motherfucking workplace. And new awareness on how to build up, you know, your day-to-day routine into something that resonates more with you. All right. Once again, may have been little tweaks or little things that have changed when it comes into your day-to-day routine, schedule, and routine. Now, the full moon is transiting the 12th house. All right, the full moon is transiting the 12th house in Sagittarius. So with the full moon transiting the 12th house, this is a time where your 12th house is fully illuminated. So when it comes to your dreams, your imagination, creative pursuits, your spiritual beliefs, all right, all of these things are being felt intensely around the time. So what right now we're trying to see, how does our schedule, well, not so much the 6th house, how do we look at, the 12th house, our imagination, our aspirations, the thing we daydream about, right? Creative aspirations or whatnot. How do we, look at what's restricting us from placing this into the 6th house? The full moon's gonna bring the 12th house be holding some insecurities too. So whenever you try to manifest something dealing with creativity, or something that you pull out your imagination and it didn't go your way, or something negative happened with it or whatnot, that insecurity goes into the 12th house. So now every time you want to deal with this creative pursuit or something out your imagination, that insecurity is going to be there, and you have to learn how to work through that. So this is one thing Capricorn risings are learning right now, learning to have more belief that they can expand past that insecurity dealing with a creative pursuit, and understanding now that I have a new awareness about my 6th house, right? Now that the sun is transiting my 6th house, and I have a new awareness about how I can schedule differently, how I can build a different routine in my life, this is going to be able to open up space to bring some 12th house things into my schedule, creative things I want to work on, things that I want to fit into dealing with my spiritual development into the 6th house in some type of shape or form. Whether it's how I read, meditate, what I pay attention to. The 6th house, the 12th house wants to find ways to trickle into that 6th house. But we're also seeing what's restricting you, which can be certain insecurities that we holding on to the 12th house that we got to release right now. Capricorn risings, when it comes to you, what you want to build and structure, and a lot of you guys are in a state of having to embrace taking a leap of faith in some type of shape or form. Taking a leap of faith to have something get from one level to the next, and a lot of it is going to be backed and supported by the new awareness you have of how to routine schedule something or things in the workplace. You're also seeing, once again, we got to find the balance here. So you're seeing how things in the workplace may affect your true aspirations. You're definitely picking up on a lot of these things. Okay, now Saturn retrograde is hitting the full moon in the 12th house. Saturn retrograde is hitting the full moon in the 12th house. So I believe this is coming out of your this is coming out of your 10th house, Saturn retrograde, if I'm not mistaken. I usually have all this shit written down. But with Saturn retrograde hitting the full moon in the 12th house, you guys are being pushed to invest some more time into your creative abilities, invest more time into your spiritual development, invest more time into spending time with yourself. That's a big one right there, to help connect to these things that may be buried, these insecurities, so you can help understand yourself some more. And ultimately doing this is going to provide opportunity to bring your creative essence and to bring things that you daydream about into your 6th house. But with the sun transit in the 6th house, especially with Mercury retrograde bouncing back in this house, there may be a lot of new different ways that you think about where you work at in career this past month and a half. So with the full moon even being on this axis, you may feel like you need to start actually detaching and releasing from the 6th house, when that's the house the sun is in. All right. More so detaching from what's going on in the 6th house as far as your form of schedule in the workplace, whether you change your schedule to help support your dreams and imagination in some type of shape or form, whether you transition to another job where you start working more of a freelance, you add a freelance way of career into your 6th house to start supporting your 12th house. These may be all different type of themes that y'all are dealing with on this 6th 12th house axis, but overall that sun in the 6th house, it's definitely some things that you ain't see with career, you ain't see, dealing with your health, that you ain't see with your regimen and your lifestyle, that you're learning about during this season. Okay, and now that full moon in the 12th house is like, okay, what insecurities do we need to lift up in order to continue to add our creative essence into the 6th house and make sure we're working on what we want to work on. We're working on our dreams, we're working on our imagination. All right, so that's my Capricorn risings. Aquarius risings, we got the sun transiting, we got the full moon. Where we at? We got the Sun, Gemini in the 5th house. All right. We got Gemini. Yeah, I'm bugging out. Gemini in the 5th house, Sag in the 11th house. All right. Full moon transiting in the 11th house. There's going to be things to detach from, restrict, and, you know, put some space in between with certain associates, friendships, communities you may be a part of. Maybe a community or group you're a part of and it don't serve you no more. You know, maybe it was a motherfucking, I don't know, some charity group. You find out they started using the money for themselves. You're like, nah, this ain't honorable. I can't be a part of this. This money's supposed to go to the disabled. This money's supposed to go to the hood, and y'all spending this shit on Fendi and Gucci. Y'all motherfucking putting down, paying your mortgage payment with the funds from the fundraiser. So the full moon, the Aquarius rising, it's a lot of bullshit that might be going on with the full moon transit in the 11th house. You feel me? Wait, do I got that right? Yeah, Aquarius rising, Gemini in the 3rd, Gemini in the 5th, Sag in the 11th, Aquarius. Okay, I just had to make sure. I had to make sure I'm not tripping. So yeah, with that Sagittarius full moon transit in the 11th house, y'all gotta make sure that y'all not reluctant to make certain decisions, stepping back from things, dealing with certain partnerships, business partnerships. A lot of y'all been picking up on some shaky energy with people that y'all dealing with group endeavors with the past definitely starting off like right. That may be a thing right there too. Thank you for saying that, Jen Ish. Appreciate that. Aquarius risings, when it comes to social media, technology, y'all may have been in super filtering mode because y'all realizing how much these things play a part on your psyche right now with the full moon transit in the 11th house. So you starting to restrict and detach that. You want following family members on Facebook. You want friendly motherfuckers on Facebook. You like, nah, I'm tired of holding back my posts. But first I gotta unfollow Granny though. Granny gotta get up off the Facebook. She got me on WhatsApp. It's all good. If she need me, she gonna hit me on WhatsApp. But I'm tired of my grandma leaving comments on my posts. I'm tired of my grandma, my grandfather, and my aunts and uncles posting on. I want my options to be posting. I want my options to be liking and leaving comments. I hate taking all these pics, making the most, finding which pics I'ma post. I spend all that time taking the pics, finding out which pics gonna make it to Facebook and Instagram, just to see all my family in the comments. This ain't fair. These pics ain't for y'all. These pics ain't for y'all. Oh shit. Oh my God. So your grandma in the picture, like, you don't think these pants is revealing too much? It's like, first of all, grandma, you got to inbox me shit like that. Why are you bringing that? I know what pants I'm wearing on my shit. I know my ass out in these pants. Put them on for a reason. Bought them for a reason. Wore them to the club for a reason. This how y'all gonna be talking to y'all grandma. You feel me? I post a picture on Facebook. My grandfather posted on it. Like, hey son, ain't you supposed to be meeting me tonight to help me build them to restructure them tools in the yard? It's like, grandpa, you see I'm at the club right now. Obviously I ain't coming tonight. You see the caption says, Liddy, we about to be in the club all night. And you ask me about what we finna be doing in the I ain't showing up. Inbox me this. Text me on WhatsApp. Leaving these comments on the goddamn grandparents, man. You gotta unfriend them. So thank you, Jen Ish. Motherfucking family doing too much. But all just aside, when it comes to any form of group communities, this, that, and the third, you want to make sure that you're peeping game in this area when it comes to associates, business partnerships. Maybe a lot of shit going on in these areas that you wasn't really picking up on before with the full moon transit in this house, and because you got the sun in the 5th house, so you probably been more focused. A lot of Aquarius rising, you've been more focused on things dealing with your creative expression. You may have been tweaking things with how you express things for your brand or your business. Like, okay, I'm gonna use TikTok, or I'm gonna use, matter of fact, let me pay for this person to do an intro for my YouTube channel. Or like, these are the things that was on your mind with the sun transit in your 5th house. Especially with the sun transit in the 5th house, anything dealing with expression is lit the fuck up. Anything dealing with creative pursuits is super lit. It's your because the sun loves to be in this house, so it's gonna force you and push you to invest into things dealing with creative expression, and it's gonna also force you and push you to enhance anything you're already a part of in a creative essence. All right, even if it was just an idea, the sun transit in the 5th house pushes you to put energy into that shit. All right, so now you're realizing how certain associates, certain groups, certain communities, or certain things dealing with your social media brands or whatnot are actually in the way. They're actually in the way of what you want to creatively express. For example, I was teaching astrology and spirituality on my personal Instagram for about maybe a little bit over a year until I said, you know what, fuck y'all. I'm tired of enlightening y'all and y'all not reciprocating energy. I'm tired of people that personally know me looking at me differently because I'm talking about spirituality. Let me create my own community because I feel like I'm going to be able to attract people that resonate with this, because it started feeling like I was forcing what I was into onto others that know me already. And I was tired of looking at people looking at me crazy. I was like, I want to be accepted. Y'all don't accept me. All right. So yeah, it might be this type of shit you going through right now, Aquarius rising. You understanding how to put yourself in a better environment for you to deal with creative and self-expression with more flow. But it may take you doing some reorganizing and peeping game with things dealing with the 11th house. Relationships, associates, business partnerships, and groupings and communities you may already be a part of. Or an image and brand you already have on your social media, and you may have to, it may be something that is new that you want to bring into the world with the sun in the 5th house. Something new. Nobody even know you do this. Nobody know you've been studying health. Nobody know you've been studying spirituality. Nobody know you really a rapper. You really a singer. And you might be too attached to your 11th house perception. You know, how people already see you on social media. How people already see you branding wise. This is the time to detach that shit. Release that shit. Put a depth to that. If you really want people to see you for your creative expression, you can't. The sun ain't finna be here waiting for you all day. I have 4 Aquarius planes, so you speaking to me right now. Right. You know, that sun in the 5th house is like, listen, you want people to see you for this, that, and the third, right? You want people to hear your music, right? You want people to hear your messages on your YouTube channel, right? Well, fuck how the people in the 11th house already look at us. You know? We ain't finna stay attached to how people, or the perceptions other people have on us. We ain't finna stay attached. You know, you a part of you a part of the church and shit. You a part of the church, but you just started exotic dancing, and you got your church members on your shit. And it's like, man, I don't care. I gotta promote my shit. Hey, I'm finna be at Sin City tonight. Come meet me. So I don't care what they think in the church. If y'all not finna accept me when I come to church, then I don't know what to say. Because God said, come as you are. Times is hard right now. And I gotta shake a little ass just to get by. It's just temporary. I ain't doing nothing more than that. That's just all it is. That's it. Them other girls, they wearing way more revealing things. I wear full body suits. It ain't that serious. All right? I barely know how to fucking dance on the pole. So y'all calm that shit down. I don't want to hear nothing that choir practice. So motherfuck with the community and these groups you already, if they don't already resonate with what you want to creatively express to the world. I know that was an extreme ass example, but y'all know I'm a clown. Regardless, but y'all got, well, I bet you got the picture though, didn't you? You got the picture though, didn't you? Oh, okay. Okay then. I don't want to hear nothing about my raunchy dark humor. I don't want to hear nothing. As soon as I said that shit, you was like, you know what? You know what, Bora, I'm gonna make this OnlyFans. I'm gonna just show my feet. That's it. I'm gonna just show my feet. They can't be too mad at the church about my feet. All right, so I hope I ain't sparked no ideas. Ladies, keep it classy, please. Please. There's other things we could do. All right. Now, So that's what's going on with that's what's going on with my with the full moon transit. You talking directly to me about community following me, but I'm about to start spitting facts about like fuck that. Like, you got to know how to create your own environment, because you know that's you trying to uphold you trying to uphold how people already look at you with these new concepts you bring, and sometimes you can't mesh the two. Sometimes you cannot mesh the two. I remember last summer, one of my high school coaches, which is like a father figure to me, he coached me all the way from my first basketball team all the way. He helped me with my college recruiting, everything, like a father figure to me. He threw a cookout, so a lot of my ex teammates was there, right? And we're all like family, we're all bros. As soon as I pulled up, got out the whip, they was like, "Oh shit!" They was like, "Oh shit, the guru here." He was like, "Yo, you got any crystals, bro? Yo, tell me about my zodiac sign." But they joking around though. But I can't force myself in trying to, you guys still got to see me like this though. I'm still this person. No, we go through different transitions and transformations in life, my nigga. Stop being afraid to step into that new stage because you other people's perception of what you got going on. Spirit gonna keep on calling for you to give your light in the stage in some type of shape or form. So that's a strong emphasis for my Aquarius risings. If you're feeling iffy about any collaborative efforts you're in, don't feel peer pressure. Don't feel any pressure to be in some shit you don't want to be a part of right now. Even if it's not a direct conflict with something that you're trying to creatively express or a creative pursuit out the 5th house, don't feel no motherfucking conflict trying to break free from a partnership or a collaboration that you was once invested in but you don't really want to deal with no more. You got to be able to follow. You got to be able to. This is why during full moon times we can't be attached to too much shit, period. We got to kind of want to be a little bit isolated into ourselves around this time, so we could see what the heart and spirit is really calling for. So if you got this alignment and spirit is really like, yo, I'm good dealing with that community, I'm good dealing with that group, we don't even resonate with their thoughts or ways of doing things no more, we learned what we had to learn, then boom, you already know you Gucci. So what else? Saturn retrograde is hitting the full moon in the 11th house. So there could be some expansion in your 11th house, but you're going to have to be broken down here to be built up, and you cannot stay attached to groups that you no longer correlate with relationships, associates, business partnerships you don't correlate with. Because if Saturn retrograde is sextiling this house, Saturn's doing construction on this house by default. A lot of positive energy from Saturn retrograde is hitting this house. So during Saturn retrograde, this Aquarius rises, a lot of y'all can make some fruitful ass connections, fruitful ass networking opportunities. It could be this year, your first year posting some content, first year YouTubing, somebody repost you big, this year, because Saturn retrograde is supporting this house if you're putting time into your 11th house. So however you take any messages to connect into the 11th house through 5th house energies, creative pursuits. The 5th house has a lot to do with awareness, which we can talk about. Knowledge really is dealing with creative, artistic energy, but a lot of knowledge and wisdom is comes through the form of creativity all the time. All right, so don't be reluctant here. That's the main theme here. Do not be reluctant for these things, Aquarius rising. All right. Last but not least, Pisces risings. Okay, Pisces risings. So we have the 4th and 10th house axis. All right, Gemini in the 4th house. Gemini in the 4th house. I need a new desk. I can't wait till I move to my new stuff. We got Gemini in the 4th, Gemini in the 4th, and Sag in the 10th. Now this is what happens a lot of times for Pisces risings with this alignment. Once again, be back in the cardinal houses. All right. So this is, as you can see, the mutable signs, whether it's your sun sign or your rising sign, these signs are experiencing a lot of change right now. These signs are a lot of my before I cap this off, a lot of my mutable signs, my Gemini, Pisces, Virgo, and Sag suns and risings, a lot of you guys are learning to break free from things that you've been invested in, or things that people are trying to force you to stay in a certain space with. A lot of y'all are in situations where you're a part of a music group or some shit, and everything in the world is screaming, this is the time to go solo. But the people in this group, instead of them being your supporters, instead of imagine if Michelle and Kelly was subconsciously hating on Beyonce and like, bitch, you'll never be none without us. You really think there was some shit without us? We is you. There ain't no Beyonce without us. You feel me? Don't nobody know you without Destiny Childs. Now let's say Beyonce really let that shit get to her head. You know what? I'm bugging y'all. Like, I'm bugging. I don't even know why I thought about going solo. These are the type of situations a lot of mutable sun signs and rising signs are going through. You're in situations where spirit is calling you to break free from something in some type of shape or form, and you may be dealing with the friction of the energies you was a part of. You know, you may have Kelly and Michelle hating right now. You feel me? It's like, first of all, Kelly, ain't nobody even asked you nothing. Ain't nobody even fucking asked you nothing. And Michelle, your ass be tripping on stage and shit, so I ain't finna take no advice from you. How I'm gonna take advice from you about going solo? You can't even stay still on stage. You make us look bad on stage. I know y'all remember that. I know my millennials remember that. Boy, I be thinking about certain moments that happened in the 90s, in the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm like, man, if social media was around for some of these times, if Instagram and Twitter was out when Michelle tripped on that stage, oh God, we would have to make sure she's in therapy. That shit would have haunted her for the rest of her life. You know what? The memes with that shit. So y'all in situations like this, a lot of my mutable placements. Don't be having what you already, the communities and groups and relationships and family traditions you're already part of, stop y'all from embracing some shit that spirit isn't calling you to embark on. New journeys the spirit is calling you to embark on. I don't know how the fuck Michelle bust her ass like that. But anyways, and got up quick though. I need a soldier. I need a soldier. I'm like, matter of fact, she kept it professional. At least she kept it professional. Can you keep up? Baby girl, let me... Obviously, it looked like you can't keep up, Michelle. What is you talking about? Now, let me stop doing Destiny Child like that. My bad, Michelle. My bad. You got Chiron in the 5th house, Chiron in Leo. You probably just had a harsh transit that day. Fucked up, tripped on stage or some shit. I'm sorry, Kelly, Beyonce, please. You can still book me. I'm still looking for celebrity clients. I ain't mean all that. You know, I'm just joking, y'all. So, can you keep up? That was my shit too, I ain't gonna lie. Those be the songs that niggas be playing when nobody around. Like, alright bro, let me see y'all niggas later. Alright. Roll your windows up. Can you keep up? Ain't more, make me lose my breath. Ain't more, make me lose my breath. Ain't more, make me lose my breath. Those be the shits that you can't play around anybody as a nigga. You gotta play that shit by yourself. You gotta act like that shit come on the radio. You gotta act like you don't like this shit. Like, this nigga's always playing this motherfucking Destiny Child song on the radio. God damn. You know damn well you want to listen to that shit. Hey, yo. Nah, chill. It's my bad. I'm getting a little delirious, y'all. It's late. My bad. Now, look. Pisces rising. I know y'all like, bro, come on. Get to it. It's 1 a.m. All right. Pisces rising. I'm gonna be up all night. I got rituals to do. I got ancestors to talk to. I gotta alter this. I got some candles to light up. So my bad, y'all. I know some of y'all going to sleep. 4th and 10th house axis Gemini in the 4th house, all right? Sagittarius in the 10th house. So what happens here a lot of times with this connection, a lot of the times, Pisces risings, y'all find yourself compromising a little too much in between these axes. So you deal with a lot of Pisces risings could have some real informative siblings and parents and family members, but at the same time, y'all can have some manipulative ass family members and shit here too. I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna keep it a buck here. Or just annoying, and they don't, because Gemini is curious, Mercury is curious, so sometimes Pisces rising, there's an invasion of privacy in the home a lot of the times. You don't even be wanting to bring your friends home sometimes because you don't know what state your home gonna be in. You don't know if your parents gonna be arguing and your siblings gonna be arguing. You don't know if you're older, you want to bring your homegirl over, or you want to bring the homie over or whatever to the crib, and you don't know what friends your siblings got there. So Gemini in the 4th house be having the household on some whole other shit sometimes. You don't know when you come home, your parents are like, come, there she is, she's home now. Come here, baby. All right, this is, you won't believe who this is. Remember when I told you I was pregnant with you in high school, and then my friend that delivered you in the car, you know, before we got to that? This is her right here. You don't even know. This is the first person that held you. You don't never know what the fuck finna happen with Gemini in the 4th house. You know. So Pisces risings at times have to walk on eggshells within the home environment, or they have to do mad things in private because their home is their family is way too invasive. You know, you got to date somebody in private and you won't let nobody know till you engaged, until you married. You know? You find out something happened with your body or something. It's not even that serious. You just left the doctor house. You gonna wait till you healed and to let them know, like, yeah, you know, I had a brain aneurysm, but you know, I'm good now. They said it was just, you know, yeah, I had a stroke, but I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I lied to you. I said I was on vacation, but I was really in the hospital. I had a whole fucking heat stroke. You don't even want to tell your family that shit until the shit is done with Pisces risings. This is why Pisces rising they be having to move a different way with their family because they talk too much sometimes, or your business, what's private to you can't stay private at times here. With Gemini in the 4th house, motherfucking goddamn. Every time you come to fucking Thanksgiving, like your mom asks you, like, all right, boy. All right, I see all the things you're doing on Instagram. You're making good money now. When you gonna settle down and get a good girl? What happened to that last girl you was dealing with? I really like that girl. It's like, Mom, first of all, your breath is a little tart. It's too early to be having this conversation. Second of all, why you asking me this in front of the whole Thanksgiving table? Why? We just started opening presents in Christmas. You couldn't have this conversation with me on the eve? You could have had this conversation with me on Black Friday? You got to just expose my whole shit in front of everybody? You know she cheated on my ass, talking about you like her. I know, but you know, sometimes the Lord says, forgiveth those who cheateth. So you deal with all that stupid shit sometimes, Pisces rising. So right now, the sun was transiting your 4th house. And what happens here is, because you get so much of this critique in the 4th house, because your parents probably critique you hard. Siblings always being extra with the critique. Or, once again, a lot of them are very informative. Some of your family members is the plug. Some of your family members is connected, though. So we're going to highlight the positive and the negative. But this is a square. Once again, we in the cardinal houses. Like I said, these houses have the biggest lessons. So we deal with a lot of friction in our 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th house by default. No matter what your rising sign is, we all have a clash between our personal life and our family. This is just how the clash plays out for Pisces risings. Hold on, y'all. I got a fucking wedgie. This is how the clash plays out for Pisces risings. All right. So, a lot of the times what happens here, the critique you get in the home starts to affect what you want to experience in the 10th house. So all my Pisces rising, you cannot be letting family traditions affect how you want to be seen, how you want to brand yourself. There's going to come a time where they're going to just have to accept that shit. If you want to teach astrology, they're going to have to accept that shit if they Christians. If you want to, if you into sex work, shit, they're going to have to accept that shit. Don't care how holy the family you came out of. Shit, they're going to have to learn to accept what you branding in that 10th house. What you building in that 10th house. What you experiencing in that 10th house. And you're going to know who your real loved ones is, sad to say. Not all of our true loved ones and family members are blood relatives. I don't think we're spiritually inclined here, so I don't think that is we got to be so motherfucking censored where we can't acknowledge that. A lot of us have friends that are way more motherfucking family than our actual family members. Okay, so that's just how life works. You know, if we know we're spiritual beings, then we know not all of our spiritual family. First of all, our spiritual family be in different places. Some of them are in higher dimensions. Some of them are in lower dimensions. So you're an ancestor to somebody. This is another thing we don't talk about as much. You are an ancestor to somebody. So when you think what you're doing in your lifetime is all about you, you got other motherfuckers depending on you too. Just like how you be calling out to your spiritual family that's in higher places that can move certain chess pieces around for you in the physical realm. You got some descendants too. They depending on your ass too to get busy up here to help show them the light. You know, understand that spiritual responsibility is that's a whole nother topic right there. You know, so you cannot you with the full moon transiting the 10th house, Pisces risings. You guys are first of all having Sagittarius in the 10th house. Because this is both Jupiter. Sorry guys if I'm a little all over the place right now. I'm so sorry. If you have Pisces in the first house, you got that's the feminine side of Jupiter, and then Sagittarius is in the 10th house, which is the masculine side of Jupiter. So Sagittarius teaches Pisces how to push out the knowledge and wisdom. Pisces teaches Sagittarius how to reflect and understand the experience and the wisdom or the knowledge, you know. So it comes a point in a Pisces rising life that they need to learn to be more expressive about their belief system and the knowledge and wisdom that they have, because people already see y'all as natural teachers, whether you realize it or not. Whether you realize it or not. All right. So right now, the sun has been giving you more of awareness onto who is family, who is your real family, blood relatives or not, who you can emotionally depend on. You know, the sun transit in the 4th house, a huge highlight on shadow work and things dealing with your mental health and your emotional well-being. Things in the home. It may be a lot of things. You may have had to cleanse the home. You may have had to rearrange things in the home. It's been that thing, things you've been wanting to do in the home and you've been neglecting it for a while because the sun been in this house and that house and that house and this house. You ain't really have a transit moving to your 4th. So now you finally got the sun in your 4th house, and now it's activating a lot of the things that you've been wanting to do with your home that you're just now doing. All right. Whether it's setting an initiative to move, whether it's taking initiative to, move things around in the home to make your house feel like more of a home than it is, and especially when it comes to any people, places and things that weigh heavy on the emotions, where we gain more awareness about these individuals. You gain more awareness about who's really more emotionally invested in you than you realize around this time. You may have a sibling and you just now realizing, you probably your older sibling, you got a younger sibling in college. They starting to experience more real life shit, and you not even realizing like, damn, I didn't realize my younger sibling really depend on me this much to be emotionally, mentally sane, emotionally, mentally stable. So it gives you a sense of awareness when it comes to, who depends on you from an emotional point of view on top of who you can depend on emotionally. And what you could do to help, have more of a healthier 4th house. But the full moon in the 10th house, I like to say this is a time where you guys are detaching from certain concepts or insecurities or things that have been thrown on you from family or different scenarios in your life that restrict you from, jumping into or embracing the type of brand, embracing the type of sense of business you want to get into with the full moon transit in the 10th house. Everything is illuminated in that 10th house. So when it comes to what you've been putting on the back burner as to like, damn, I know I want to have a brand for this. I know I should have been starting my brand dealing with making hair. I should have been starting my brand teaching holistic health and showing people how I create what I be eating on the daily and how I juice and how I detox. So these are the things that you want to restrict and acknowledge to help support you being more emotionally stable in the 4th house. The universe is basically telling y'all, if you we already paid attention to insecurities, certain things with our family members, loved ones, what affects our emotions negatively in the 4th house. Now the full moon has got Pisces risings, paying attention to 10th house, and y'all looking at that area like, damn, is a lot of what's making me feel unstable in the 4th house got to do with what I'm being reluctant to dive into and experience with Sagittarius in my 10th. Are my family traditions, are things with my family traditions, whatnot, holding me back from how I want to be seen in a certain way? Do I have certain insecurities dealing with these things? And this is also a time where there may have to be some restrictions. Might have to take some days off from work with this alignment. You might have to detach a little bit from the workplace if you can afford that, in some type of shape or form. Because you guys may need some space. You guys may need to process things in this 4th house before Cancer season start. Once again, the 10th house is opposite to the 4th house. So what's one of the main things that take a toll on our emotions and our mental and emotional well-being? Career, work. Even how we, not even just the shifts we work, not even just the time we put into working, our motherfucking way of thinking about what we want to do in the 10th house is overwhelming enough. Thinking about how to build something, who I could build with, what resources I have to build, how much time something's going to take, that could be already taxing on your mental health in the first place. So let alone things that are actually transpiring in the workplace. This is why I'm saying some of y'all may need to find ways to fall back or, find your gaps, times that you're not in work, especially this week, right? This week, this is definitely a time. Last time, Pisces rising, how the full moon will affect this. Thank you, Janish. This is a time where you guys may need to restrict energies in your 10th house in order to have more motherfucking sanity in your 4th house. Some of y'all Pisces risers may have been working. You're overdoing it now, Pisces. Because Pisces risers are good for using anything in their life to sometimes. Pisces energy will use a lot of shit as an escape mechanism. There's nothing that they won't use as an escape mechanism at times. Work could be one of them places. Like they just stay working. They take their mind off of all other type of shit. They stay active at work. This may be the time it's like, all right, we can't, sorry, full moon trans in the 10th house, Pisces rising. We can't keep doing that. Nope. You have to, all these feelings and emotions you be dealing with on your lunch break, when you're not that busy at work, when you actually come home from work. These is things that you need to pay attention to. These is things that the sun wasn't transiting your 4th house for no reason. And like I said, and we may have to break through some traditions, insecurities, restrictions from what you may have been reluctant to brand or utilize in the 10th house. We may have to acknowledge these things. So as the sun moves into Cancer, speaking about emotional stability, we all got to deal with that shit during the start of the summertime. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm pretty sure the crime rate is the highest in Cancer season. It's the start of the summer. It's the start of the summer solstice. And the moon energy is fully activated. So motherfuckers is reacting first. Reacting impulsively. Motherfuckers is saying it with their chest. So I gotta actually look that up. Cancer is the most dangerous sign. So that's what we got going on, dealing with motherfucking for my Pisces risings. You have to make sure you're fully aware as to how career and certain relationships affect your home. It may be certain things in career you guys may be dealing with. You may be dealing with certain levels of pressured energy, pressured energies in your 10th house. So whether it's a coworker getting on your fucking nerves in the workplace, whether it's a boss or manager working your last nerve, this is actually highlighting a state of transition right now, because these energies may be pushing you to invest into things within your sun in the 4th house, things that you're already familiar with, things that you're already emotionally comfortable connecting to others. The 4th house, let's not get it twisted. Even though this is the home of the moon, Jupiter is exalted here. So this house deals with a lot of energies dealing with emotional intelligence and wisdom. So just because somebody got a lot of planets in the 4th house doesn't mean that they just crazy with their emotions. This might be the most emotionally intelligent person you know. This might be the most emotionally intelligent person you know if they got a lot of Cancer placements and 4th house placements. It's just that Cancer energy ain't no easy energy to deal with. Cancer energy ain't no easy energy to deal with. We don't call it the most powerful sign for no reason. They are ruled by the moon. They bring things into their life very fast. So when you look at that 4th house energy, the awareness has been expanded big time during Gemini season. With all type of relationships in this house. Once again, Gemini in the 4th house, you got the sun transit here. You finna see who you can emotionally depend on. And motherfuckers may have been real, it may have been real draining a little bit this season for y'all. Because you do got Gemini in the 4th house, Pisces rising. So you may have attracted mad siblings, cousins, close friends, just coming to you to emotionally dump. You're already a Pisces. You already got Pisces placement. So you're really going to attract a lot of people that need to lean on you for some type of emotional stability in some type of shape or form. You're really going to attract that. So with the sun transit in the 4th house, it may have been a little bit overwhelming this Gemini season, to the point it's like, you know what? During this full moon week, I'm definitely exhaling, and we want to continue to see what is it that's, and then once again, Saturn is retrograde hitting the full moon in the 10th house. We know Saturn don't play about the 10th house. Saturn don't play about the 10th house. So the Saturn retrograde hitting the 10th house is forcing you to be more serious and, restrict those limitations you may be placing on yourself when it comes to, building the 10th house you want for you to feel more comfortable in your life, period. All right, Pisces rising. But listen, listen, Pisces rising, who was before that? Pisces rising and the 5th. Pisces rising and who was before that? Aquarius rising. Now that I realize it doing the reading, you guys are the two people who may need to break away from how people view you in order for you to be more comfortable with what you want to do in your life right now. A lot of the shit y'all may be having to break away from, Pisces and Aquarius rising, has a whole lot to do with concepts and ways of looking at things people have already thrown on you. All right? And this is a time that you got to kind of invest in self. Aquarius rising, invest in that 5th house. Do what you want to do from a creative aspect and let that mold your 11th house. Pisces rising, you invest into where your heart is at right now. You invest into where your heart is at right now and making sure you're taking care of things in the home. Things will manifest in the 10th house how it manifests. You're going to have more clarity with your intention as to what you want to do in the 10th house. All right, guys? So I can't stand myself when I say I ain't gonna be here for long. Why do I talk? God, why did you put a fucking stellium in Libra for me? Having the sun in Libra is one thing, but you had to put Jupiter and Venus by the motherfucker. You had to make me love expanding on communicating. And at this point, I ain't really loving that shit. You got me going over time frames and shit. All right. I love y'all. Happy full moon. All right, this energy will be peaking at 7:45 a.m. All right, I know I tweeted 7:45 p.m. I've been the typo god lately. I've been the typo god recently. I can't make a post without a typo right now. So it's going to be peaking in the morning, 7:45 a.m. So y'all going to feel some strong energies, getting closer to that rising, especially if you wake up before 7:45 a.m. or even if you wake up after. If you wake up before it, you're going to feel that shift. And if you wake up after it, you definitely finna feel some shit. You feel me? You know, once again, this is not a time to set intentions. All right, this is the time to peep game. Everything's fully illuminated. The subconscious is at the surface level. All right, y'all. Peep game. We got a powerful new moon in Cancer. We don't want to rush anything. We don't want to rush a goddamn thing right now with a new moon in Cancer. We want to make sure we ready for that new moon in Cancer. Because if you're talking about manifesting, if you want to excel some shit in your life, we finna work a ritual during that new moon. For real, for real. Is a new moon in the place it likes to be. And then when the new moon hits, not only did the moon resonates in Cancer, so it brings such a strong force to support our emotional intention. Then when the moon continues to transit, we still got the sun in Cancer to help follow up the action with where our heart is at, with what we feel like fulfills us, with what we feel like we need to connect to and pour into. All right, so we don't play about no new moons and Cancers, but we can't play around with this full moon in Sagittarius first. Take your time breaking free from the things that got you feeling restricted.